I thought it was just audio because I don't actually research anything that I'm doing ahead of time.
That's okay. To show you,
like, it's video. I looked like a beast earlier. I was like, oh shit.
To show you how prepared I am, I literally hooked my webcam I'm using right now up like an hour ago, and I've been fidgeting with it the entire time trying to make it work. No. And now I'm just a floating head in darkness.
That's fine.
Talking to a DP.
Yeah.
I should turn off this light so it's literally just my face floating in nothingness.
It'll be like Under the Skin.
Right. Your favorite movie.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen that since it was released. Like,
yeah.
I shit on it, but I feel like I should probably watch it again, even if I didn't like it. To shit on it, I don't know.
Did you feel that you didn't like it at the time?
At the time, I saw it at at an art house theater in Baltimore, and it was like a press screening, so everything was like meh, and everyone really loved it there, and I was like, it was fine. I was like, it's not badly made. Let's say that it's not a badly made movie. Like, it's a well-made movie. It's I think there's some interesting ideas, but overall, I was like, I didn't love it.
I just hated like I liked the beginning. I liked things about it, and then the whole last 40 minutes is just her being chased and assaulted in the woods. I'm like, what movie is this now? I hate it. And it was just like, it went on so long that I was just like, oh god. And then like, it's based on a book, and I went and read the Wikipedia article about like how the rape was used in the book, and it seemed to fit like the story and like what she was trying to say like so much better than how the movie handled it. I thought the movie just handled it very gratuitously and stupidly. And it was kind of just like, humans suck. Like, and I don't think that's quite the point of the book, though I didn't read the book. I just read the Wikipedia article.
I love that.
So...
the theme you walk away from that kind of movie, you're like, it's just humans suck? That's it?
Yeah, that was the theme I got from it. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, I'll say this. I'm not going to give myself as much credit as I would hope to in front of you to say that I didn't like it for those reasons. But to me, it did seem like that it took her out of the main character of the movie at the end, and I was like, what movie am I watching now? Because it feels like
well, that's the thing. It's like a shitty like Hills Have Eyes suddenly or something with a hick chasing a woman through the woods. I was like, why? This is like, it just wasn't like elevated at all. Like the way the whole beginning part of the movie set it up as like a really interesting sci-fi horror.
Would you have liked it?
Just like, oh, now we're just doing something shitty.
Right. What if it was reversed though? Like, if it started out with like tricking us into her being chased, or like, men going after her, but then then the turn comes, and then she has all the power. Oh, by the way, I'm an alien. I don't want to push you into my sucking machine. We're gonna suck. You know what I mean? If that was the
yeah. Well, I'm a misandrist, so I'd be fine with that.
Right. No, I'm saying I think it's a better movie.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just that. I think it's a better movie.
I have like a short film script about. Have we started this?
Yes, I'm recording this. There's no introduction. Podcast. Hi, Sophia.
Okay, cool.
Your introduction is the description on
it's
the
just
podcast.
Me yelling about Under the Skin. No, I have a short film I've been wanting to shoot for a while about like a witch who like melts men into like perfumes and then like gets their essence into a jar and like puts it on her shelf. Like, that's the movie. And I'm like trying to figure out how to make it like where I don't need to be like, oh, all the men's are abusers that she does this to. It's like, it's not like, I don't even want to get into that. I just want her to have fun playing men. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Like, why would she? Yeah.
Would all the perfumes smell like farts and BO? Would they all smell terrible?
Probably.
So so it's not for revenge or anything. It's just to sell nice perfume.
I'm trying to make it without having to have like that kind of abuse element. But then like, I don't know if the movie works at all other than just like, I'm just going to kill a bunch of dudes and put them in like, what is the story?
Do you can just kill a bunch of men. It's fine. Sophia.
She's just a serial killer. That's great.
If there's anyone in my life that I know that I want to see that movie without having a point be made, I want it to be you making that movie.
Yeah.
You don't need to give me a reason. Just to have men get pushed into the machine that turns them into perfume. Yeah, I'm fine.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, good. Because, that's what people say they want. They don't want any of this woke bullshit.
They would still tell you you're too woke. You're killing men. You can't kill men.
Yeah, somehow. Exactly. Somehow it's still woke. Yeah.
If you kill all those men, who's going to build all the buildings and go to work and stuff? Come on. Yeah, I don't think. I
thought we'd have robots by now.
Well, I mean, the witch could maybe you could have something where she turns a woman into perfume, and it's even better or worse or something. But then I don't know. She has a conscience about liquefying women. I don't understand. I don't know. Would it be like a? Would she put them in like a brew? Movies. Would she like put their bodies in a brew?
Like all the '80s movies where people just like melt suddenly.
That's my favorite subgenre. It's the melting subgenre.
Melt movies, yeah. I just wanted it to be like a really weird, waxy, like melt effect. Yeah. Right. And then maybe like a time lapse where like it goes to like the skeleton at the end. So then the skeleton is sitting there, and then like colored fog, and then you stick it in the perfume bottle.
Could the bottle be made of like skeleton?
It could. Yeah, I was just gonna do like all those little vintage like old style perfume bottles.
I'm just saying, like, the entirety of the product is made from men's bodies.
Yes.
It's 100% recyclable for the environment.
Yeah, it's like their tooth is like the stopper or something.
You should make that. That's great, though.
Yeah, I've been kicking it around for like 2 years. I'm like, I should just make this stupid movie. But it's just like never quite settled on like, because I want to do it practical. So there's like a little bit of an expense there with melting people. And then, just like needing a point. Like, do I need a point? I don't know.
Sophia, you've been to film festivals, right?
Right.
You know that most short films, they don't have points.
Yeah, okay. So it's just like a really pretty movie of like a beautiful witch killing men. That's enough. That has a point.
That's fine. I mean, like, you could add something in there like the point is she needs to fill a rack up with perfumes. Yeah. And the end of the thing is when she puts the last perfume on. Oh, it's over. Okay, fine.
Right. Right. Yeah. Maybe I'll do something at the end where she sells them in like a boutique.
Like
Fight Club.
I'm not trying to write this. I'm not trying to help you write this. But if you wanted help.
So writing credit, Bob Rose.
Right. I'm not the person you want to help write this. But it could be something like she kills somebody's husband and like her life is way better because her husband's gone and then she doesn't know where he went. And then she sells the perfume. Yeah. Like back to the woman, and she like sprays it on her, and she feels complete.
I like that.
It's not terrible.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do this idea before some guy who looks like me makes it and does it really bad.
Yeah, whoever's listening to this podcast, it's like, I like that. I'm gonna make that movie.
Right. And just as long there's gonna be some dude who looks a lot like me, who's not like me, who's gonna be like, I got this, but then there's like 6 sexual assault scenes or something.
Right, of course. Right. Yeah, because that's like the cheap way of doing it.
Right, the better way is there's literally no reason for this to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's very rarely a reason for men to like mutilate women.
Yeah, it's always just they're insane.
They're just crazy.
They're just crazy. If we, why can't a witch be crazy? Why can't a witch just be doing her job, which is melting down people? That's what witches do, right?
I have no idea. It's funny because, like, I live in Los Angeles. I don't know if I mentioned that before.
Yeah, you live in, if I did an introduction, you live in Los Angeles. You're a filmmaker, writer, director, an amazing DP. You do a little bit of everything, right? Yeah.
A little bit of everything, yeah. But one of the things I do is there's all these women's groups for like LA women. And like every week there's a new post like, I'm starting a coven who wants to come over and do spells. And I'm just like, that's not a real thing, but okay.
So you're saying your problem is you don't believe it's in the actual stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to like, insult anybody. I'll just
Yeah. No, I'm not very woo at all. I think we're just here to suffer and die, and that's it. But
That's a good description.
That's the point.
I used to date someone who was Wiccan, who was pretty strongly belief in Wiccan, and I was a young man who was much more asshole-ish. And I would always be like, look, all I'm saying is if you can just make like a pencil levitate for a minute, I'll believe it.
Right.
like, come on, is that asking a lot? You know? They never could. They never could do that. It always has to be all complex and stuff, you know?
Right.
But you bring up a good point. It's something that I made a small list of stuff to talk about in my brain.
You prepared.
Yeah. No, I didn't at all.
Just in case there was awkward silence.
Let me tell you, with your episode, Michael's episode, Steven's, these are all people, our mutual friends, Michael, Steven, I mean, your partner, Michael, and then Steven Stahl. And I'm going to eventually have Kate on. If I have friends on, I'm not preparing anything. We're just talking. Yeah. If I'm having someone that's like, I don't know, then I'll try.
Be real. A real person.
You've done a lot of stuff. You're real. You're famous. Sort of, right? You know what I was going to say? The one thing, we have like our a little friend group that I've mentioned before on the show, you know, our little circle. But the one thing I've always felt, we've only known each other for like, I guess, a year. How long has it been? A year and a half, a year?
I mean, basically.
I can't remember time.
Yeah, I mean, I know we met in person briefly at Genre Blast.
It was like a sentence of talking.
I think maybe you talked to Michael more there.
We joked about something.
Probably.
I can't remember.
You know, and then we really became friends during the pandemic.
Right. And that's been for how long? 5 years? 1 year? I can't remember.
For like a million years. So I guess like a year and a half-ish, almost.
Yeah.
When did we meet at Genre Blast? Was that like 20?
That was 2019. That was the end of 2019.
Okay.
It was November 2019 or something like that.
September,
September, whenever Genre... I don't know what the hell's going on. 2019 feels like 2010 to me now. Like it's so far long ago, I don't even remember anything. But what I was going to say is, in the time that we've known each other and in our little mutual friend group, the one thing I always feel kinship with you is, and I've never said it, is that you have... No, I'm serious.
Here we go.
No, if I'm completely wrong, you tell me. But it's in this kind of like... in the in the memes that you always share and in the vibe that they have, which is always like, I have no clue what I'm doing and I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I
lot
feel
of nihilism.
Yeah. I always feel like I really feel the same as you a lot of the time, especially the vibe of the last year, you know? Yeah, I kind like there's
like deep sarcasm. I liked that one. There was one recently that was like the doom anarchist or whatever, where it's just like kind of like you're old and you've given up and you know the world's on fire, but like what are you gonna do? Right. You can't like there's no way one person can fix this problem unless you're Bezos.
Right.
And he doesn't. He just wants to go to space with an old lady.
And there's probably a lot of Bezoses we don't know about. They won't fix anything anyway. He's just the famous one.
He's just the one that we see. Yeah, exactly.
But I was going to say, like, and now that the world, you're starting to do work again. I've actually... Right. And this is like something... This is an arbitrary thing I kind of wanted to talk to you about because I know how I think you feel the same as me. Like, now that the world is opening back up, I went to a wedding. I went to an actual event at a bar. These were over for me. I'm like, part of me is like so happy to see everybody, but part of me is like, I almost, I don't want to say it out loud, but part of me is almost like, I kind of just like the way it was, I think, for a little bit. Like, I don't want a pandemic to be happening, but I actually like the life. Solitude.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate it. A lot about it, I guess. You know?
Right. That's what I'm kind of saying.
There's certainly a part of me that wants to just move to the woods and have like 10 chihuahuas just like on me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely hard getting back out there. And it's also like, you know, I think being in my late 30s and I've done like a lot of different types of art, it's like what is actually fulfilling to me and what like I feel like I've kind of given up on like making a real career out of it. So it's just like I make stuff, I make small amounts of money making stuff, and it's just it's hard to keep going, I think. You know, like I'm feeling like I'm just doing it for no reason or just for myself, you know. And so like I think our next movie is just going to be like me tinkering at something for myself more than like thinking that there's going to ever be any commercial viability or career viability. And that's kind of a shift because certainly like I came from rock and roll, and so like in the 90s, early to mid 90s, when I was like, I want to do that. I was like a little kid, but there was like this dream being sold that like if you just got to New York or LA or whatever, you could be in a rock band and you're going to get famous and then you're fine. And I think that's part of like a poverty mentality too, because I grew up super poor, and I was just like, oh yeah, of course I can. Like it's like becoming like an NBA player or something, you know, like this is my way out.
It's the creative pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Exactly. And it's definitely like a dream we were all sold in the 90s. I don't know, maybe less so now with kids.
I would say 80s and 90s. I think both of those 80s like kind of started the whole me generation, and then the 90s amplified it. Yeah. And it just seemed like these small bands came out of nowhere. And now in retrospect, I'm like always like, oh, they have a rich dad, or like they were friends with Kurt Cobain, or like there was some reason why they got to where they got. But like, you know, you don't actually get those stories. You just get like the rags to riches story always. Right.
So anyway, my point is, I always thought like from the time I was like 12, I was like, I'm just going to write a lot of songs. I'm going to start a band and somebody's going to see that. And then I'll be all set, you know? And so I worked at that for a long time, like till like my late 20s, you know, like just touring, doing so much band stuff. And like, I did okay. Like for like a regional band, like we played good shows, a lot of fun.
You have some pretty popular music videos, you know? Music videos are super popular. Yeah.
And then like just switched gears totally to be like, oh, like indie film is where it's at. Like that'll be my career.
You should have stayed in music. It's so much.
At this point, it's cheaper, right?
It's so much cheaper. At least you could just write a song like in your house. You know what I mean?
Of course. So it's just like trying to like I guess like reconcile that with like the dream with like what is actually an attainable career, and like especially in creative stuff where there's no distinct path, you know, especially if you're not like from a rich family or something. Like there's no like laid out for you like I'm gonna be on this production because my uncle is the producer, you know. Without those kinds of paths, it's like very difficult to navigate. And at some point it's like, do I want to keep trying? Like, am I just going to be dead soon? Like, should I keep trying? I don't know. Should I just enjoy it?
It's amazing that we did anything during the pandemic, because that whole like, will I be dead soon thing really puts a damper on the creativity. You know what I mean? It's like, why should I try anymore? I'll probably die during this, you know? Right. But yeah, there's like that's that difference because I'm in my late 30s. Don't even want to think about next, you know, in 2022 when I'll be 40. Whoa. But like there's a difference between quitting completely and accepting that the dream most likely mathematically is never going to happen. Right. You're still going to make stuff, you're still going to be creative, but there's like you approach it completely differently at a certain point in life. Like I grew up was like, I'm going to be Steven Spielberg, and then, you know, that's not going to happen. You know, like, and now I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Like I'm a 39-year-old.
Nobody's knocking down our doors.
It's fine. Like it didn't happen, you know. And so I think that you approach stuff different, you know.
I think so too.
Like even the content changes, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, that's probably also a mistake we made, is like we've made a lot of movies for ourselves. You know, so
I know. I made myself laugh.
The content is gonna change. Maybe not, but like, you know, like I think with clickbait, that was like one of Michael's selling points to me, was like, all right, we'll make a mainstream horror, and this will at least get into a fest like maybe our weirder shit didn't get into. But then like, of course, as we made it got super silly and weird. So it's like, you know, we started off being like, oh, we're just gonna make a really straightforward movie, and then it's like all fucking like fart jokes, you know, like the whole movie, like Two Strudels is like what people take away from that movie. So, you know, like, it was just kind of impossible.
That is kind of my. I really love.
Straight ahead.
I love Two Strudels. Let me just be honest.
Everybody loved Two Strudels. Yeah. Literally, it was because I often do all the art for our movies, because like I never want to pay somebody else to do something I could theoretically do, and then like I always wish I could have done more. But with Two Strudels, I just made it just to be on the table, like while they're having a conversation, like not even interacted with at all. And then as we were shooting, the actors were obsessed with the product. And so we just kept adding it in more and more as it went on. And then we made like the infomercial like way later that's in the movie. So
Yeah,
these
but
things take on a life of their own.
That's one of the best parts of the movie, though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had to make other flavors because I just made the watermelon one, and then it's like a whole thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess I've seen 3 of your movies, not counting shorts. If you're just talking features.
Okay, which one haven't you seen?
I've seen Magnetic, I've seen Clickbait, and I've seen Tribids. How do you say it? Tribids. I'm sorry, I'm messing up the thing. I've seen those 3. What haven't I seen?
Here's what I recommend: is like name your movie something no one can pronounce.
Oh yeah.
That's just number 1 for young filmmakers.
I said the name on Michael's episode, and I'm pretty sure I was pronouncing it wrong. Then he didn't correct me, so I've been pronouncing it wrong for a long time.
When we Horror Pack put that out on like a limited edition Blu-ray, and at that point, I don't know if as many people still do, but a lot of people at that point a couple years ago were doing the unboxing videos.
Yeah.
And so we had like a super cut of like 100 people being like tribids, triblades, triblades, like they would just like say it every which way, and it was just like so hilarious, like to watch this super fast in a row.
I think in the first,
but yeah, it's a real word. It's not a word we made up. It's a real word.
I think I first said Tribades when I first saw it. It's
people came up with every kind of pronunciation.
Yeah, but I would say that out of the 3 that I've seen, Magnetic is probably your least commercial.
Yeah. But have you seen the trailer for Magnetic? Because it's just like a lot of loud music, and it looks like a Tom Cruise movie. They found every instance of our actor like just running and put that in the trailer. Just like so much running, and it seemed like super.
You didn't do so the distributor made the trailer?
Yeah, we were with Wild Eye did the DVD, and they did their own trailer.
Oh, okay.
And and so there is a version that's our trailer. It's all like low key and like talking like VO, and their trailer's like boom, 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 running. Which is like a thing, and that's fine. And then they did their own art for the DVD cover, and that was also like ours had like a sheep on it, and like it was like an oil painting, and theirs is just like like some crazy sci-fi font.
Right. So are you saying going forward with what we were saying about aging?
Yeah. Okay.
Your movies are going to be even less for other people? I mean, I guess there's no point in them being for other people, almost, right?
Right. Yeah. Like I think if anything, just like my personal. The more I've learned making films, the more obsessed I get with like the actual quality of like the cinematography and the lighting. And so like that stuff I always want to be improving on.
Yeah.
And someday maybe I'll be happy with something. But other than that, like the content wise and weirdness wise, like why try to make it for anybody, for anybody else? No, I do want to hit high marks in production though.
Well, I mean, you know what I always like about that is like you make something look extremely good, and then people watch it, and a good percent of those people are like, this has to mean something. This has to be well written. The premise has to be genius. I might not understand it, but it looks so good. Why would someone spend so much time and effort to make it look so good if they didn't know what they were saying, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you can get away with it. You can get away with it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's all anybody cares about usually is like, was this pretty? Yes or no?
I don't care about anything that happens.
You over the 50% mark. Yeah. If it was pretty, they'll be like, oh, okay, I like it. But I don't know. People like Magnetic has a lot of weird shit in it. And
it does, but it's pretty too.
It is pretty.
I think it's pretty. It's on Tubi for anyone listening. It's right.
Is it on? Yeah, it is on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is still. It definitely was. But like it goes into like a lot of weird dreamscapes and stuff. And like there's like a lot of content in there of like total insanity. Like there's a part where like there's like clones like worshiping an Egyptian sun god, like with like a ram's head in a weird church that we found. Like just there's weird stuff. There's like a furry tea party. It just goes off the rails. Yeah.
And it's shot,
I love that. Yeah.
And it's shot in like it's a black void, right? If I remember
straight. It was like a black box theater.
Yeah, black box theater.
So we were able to like really shoot it like it was black. Yeah, a void, basically. Somebody like a friend of mine was like, "Oh, it's too bad you couldn't get like a VFX artist to do like a CGI spider." And I was like, "Oh, you don't get the movie." Like I wanted it to be like a weird theatrical dream. Like you're in the theater, like hello. Okay.
No, like
what about that movie says I needed a CGI spider?
I feel like that comes up a lot, especially with me, where it's like, it's weird to me that someone will watch Magnetic and see that spider and think, okay, the filmmakers want me to look at that spider and think it's actually real.
Right. Meanwhile,
you know
it's played by the same actor as like the only actor in the movie. Like,
right. It's obvious. It's not
anyway supposed to be real. Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a real spider. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Yeah, it like the actual realism of low budget effects always makes me, like, the different layers of it always makes me confused. Like, especially as someone who, I make all that stupid JPEG looking stuff that I do, and then people are like, hey Bob, can you do this effect? And I'm like, no, I cannot make something look real.
Yeah, realism.
Realism has never entered into anything. But I was like, when I'm making something, I'm saying that this doesn't look real, but in the characters in the movie are seeing it as real. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain for some people. Like, my
favorite thing that stuck with me about that is there's like a documentary on Ray Harryhausen, who, I mean, I'm sure you know, but like he did all the stop motion effects. But he would go and like watch animals move and then try to do the stop motion like that. And so somebody that like worked on like Jurassic Park was talking about like the influence of Ray Harryhausen.
Phil Tippett.
And is that who it was?
He was the animatic guy.
Oh. Whoever it was in the doc.
I know shit like that about Jurassic Park. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
They described it as like Ray Harryhausen kind of set the standard of what a movie dinosaur looks like. And like no movie can make like any real changes to that, because it's like the audience has an expectation of like a movie dinosaur, and it's not reality. Somebody could do it, but like what the people want is like a dinosaur that moves a certain way and looks a certain way, and that was established in like the 50s,
Right, and so it just kept going forward. Yeah, no matter how inaccurate it is too. It's like,
now they have feathers. Like, no, we just want to see the same reptile dinosaur that we've had.
Well, like, we do not need to talk about this, but I just read about the fact that the opening of the next Jurassic World movie takes place in the Cretaceous period, and it's going to show the actual scientifically accurate dinosaurs, and then they're explaining that. Fail. Well, they're explaining that the frog DNA truly did make the monsters that we knew in the first movie.
Oh, right, because they split it. With
the frog DNA. But yeah, apparently it opens with a whole Cretaceous period, no humans, just showing us that scientifically accurate now, which will probably be outdated in 20 years.
Right? Yeah. I do like that, but they did have to work it into the narrative.
Well,
to justify it.
Whatever. I mean, there's never been a good Jurassic Park sequel, so it's fine. I'll still watch it and love it because it's Jurassic Park. But I don't think I've
seen any of the Chris Pratt Jurassic Parks.
I'm not going to recommend them to you. But
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they're just.
Something about him beyond Parks and Rec. I don't like it.
Do you think is it the religious thing?
Maybe it seeps through his performances that he's super Christian. I don't know. There's something about him that just kind of irks. I don't like it.
That's the thing that bothers me, is like the ultra Christian, and he belongs to a church that was apparently anti-LGBT or something like that.
Yeah, there's something sketchy about it. Yeah, he married Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter.
Right.
But that's like a weird.
It's a thing where it's like he's never said or done anything publicly, so you can't be like, yeah, but it's still like,
it's like I can't watch Elizabeth Moss in like Handmaid's Tale because I'm like, you're in a cult.
I don't. I actually don't know what that.
She's the Scientologist. Like,
oh, she is
forever ago. Yeah, from forever ago.
Oh,
I think maybe even was raised in Scientology, and she's like one of the main Scientologist actors now. And so it just like makes Handmaid's Tale really weird, like, especially when she talks about it, and I'm like.
I've never seen Handmaid's Tale, but I plan to watch it. But I always was kind of saving it for when the world was less bad.
Yeah, probably. So the first season is like pretty much the book, and it ends where the book ends. And so like I watched the first season and it was fine, and then I was like, I heard bad things about the follow-up seasons, even though they have Margaret Atwood like as a consultant. I might watch them someday, but I also just can't stand Elizabeth Moss, so. I don't know.
And it's just
We'll
because
see.
like I liked her performances, but now I know this. I'm bummed.
Yeah, well,
You know.
in Handmaid's Tale, like so much of the book is like just her internal monologue, and the way they chose to do that in the show is just to have her whispering her feelings constantly,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not love that as a choice. So like it was kind of annoying to me to watch, like just constant internal monologue over entire 50 minutes of an episode.
Right.
So I didn't love that style, and I don't know if it's less like that in later seasons when they're following the book less. And I don't know how to better have shown it. It's not like I have the answer because like, you know, because like she's so subjugated by like the man of the household, like she can't say out loud her feelings and she can't tell anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all models. I don't know how to fix it, but I just did not like it. It's like so whispery. It's like the very new style of acting that's like I'm just gonna whisper like constantly.
And it's like it's like Nick Cage, but on his low end. It's it's either screaming or whispering. There's no in between.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was like, Nick Cage does that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's either like just like
sorry, I should have clarified that.
Yeah, I was like,
Elizabeth Moss is just like Nick Cage, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm not into like the new whisper acting.
Whisper acting. Okay, I have to see the show to understand more, but I just figured I'd watch it after Trump was out of office. Like that was kind of I was like, I don't want to watch this. It's like I didn't want to watch that movie they made about the pandemic during the pandemic. What was it, Songbird or something?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
Happening. Yeah.
No. It was about COVID-23 or something. I was like, no, I don't.
Though I did watch Outbreak and Contagion.
Oh yeah.
Like during the pandemic, and that felt cathartic to me.
It did. I've never actually seen Contagion. I need to.
Okay, Contagion is like a documentary style movie, but also like weirdly got so much of COVID-19 correct that like it came from bats and went to people, and like it was eerily similar to what we were going through at the time. And I think it was like pretty well researched. You know, because like they've known for a while this could happen. It like
I literally didn't. I love Soderbergh. I actually really do, but the reason I didn't watch it is because of my actual fear of pandemics before the pandemic happened.
Well, now you've had it. Yeah.
When I watched Outbreak as a kid, it fucked me up, and I think it actually Outbreak. I like Outbreak too. I don't dislike it, but it actually started my immortal fear of pandemics, which led to my extreme anxiety during the last year. The guy that who is like on edge and makes constant jokes out of just anxiousness constantly, like that's me because like it's been hell for me because I've been absolutely scared of it, and I think Outbreak started my obsession and fear. So Contagion I never got to, but I've seen all of his other stuff.
I think it's okay to watch it now, but it is like, I mean, it gets worse than COVID-19 did, I think, because it was like, you know, they shut down full cities and like you couldn't go to the grocery store and stuff. Like it was similar, but it gets worse, like because it's a movie. But I think you could tolerate it now, having lived through it. But it was so weird how similar it was to what we were going through, and like to the point where like people had like wristbands for vaccinations and stuff. Like there's all like this weird stuff that's like.
I mean, we should have that.
What we happening? Yeah, we should.
You know, I went to. I don't know if you've been on a few shoots, right? Where everyone's been vaccinated or something.
Yeah.
Like even in that situation, do you still feel okay about it? Because like to me, I'm like, I don't know if I even trust the people I know to some degree. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Everyone disappoints you in life, and I just don't trust everyone anymore.
As far as like, were they actually vaccinated, or are they reasonable humans? I think like I didn't require people, because luckily these were shoots I produced, so I was able to be like, you have to have been vaccinated. I didn't require people to send me their cards. Some of them just voluntarily did. And we did wear masks mostly, but it was pretty loosey-goosey, and including with me, especially like when I was like packing up at 3 a.m. I was like, I can't take it anymore, and nobody was there, so I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like if the Delta variant gets a lot worse, I'll be like way more stringent about masks, but I don't want to wear masks outside anymore. I'm done.
Oh man. I feel you. I went
inside. I still think it's like very reasonable. So
I went to that thing at that bar, and everyone showed their card, and I ended up not wearing a mask because I was also like, it's useless in this environment. If everyone else literally isn't, I'm either going here or I don't go. and
Right.
I'm still shaky about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still like,
Yeah.
I have no reason to be. Nothing has
Right.
happened. All the people in there, everyone seems fine. I just still like, is this what life is going to be now? Anything you
Yeah.
do, I have to be
It's also
2
like
weeks of anxiety.
it's so easy to fake those cards, like in
Yeah, they look like
Photoshop. You know, like
shit.
if somebody really didn't want to get one, you get the vaccine, they could easily fake the card.
The
And
cards look
everybody
like.
posted their card online, so you just print it out.
I actually never did that. I don't know why. I think it was for one of the reasons I was talking about earlier. Like, I didn't want everyone to start pushing me. I didn't want to
to
like.
go out.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I made a status about it, but even then I was like, I don't want to. I don't want everyone to be like, hey, Bob, now you should, now you got to come to this thing.
Right.
Now you got to do stuff because I'm still kind of cagey about it.
Yeah. Well, I think there is like some reasonable concern with the Delta as far as maybe not getting hospitalized, but getting sick from it.
Yeah, I was reading about it last night, and I was like, I got to stop. I can't do this. I can't.
Yeah.
Like the actual thought of us going through something again, and I was also like thinking like,
Yeah.
there's no way America's ever shutting down again. We're just not.
No,
in our
there's
lifetime.
not.
It's never happening.
I mean, maybe in our lifetime, but not from this. Like
Right.
even if there's a worse version of COVID, I don't think in the next year or two we will.
I don't
We'll
think
see.
people will accept it.
I agree, but I don't think people will tolerate it.
Yeah. But so that just like in general, I was reading about it and just like I can't handle the thought of something else happening.
Right.
Like, and I can't handle. I'm not going back to how it was. So, a part of me was just like, that's it. I don't think I care anymore. I've already dealt with my own death for a fucking year. I don't. I don't care anymore. Sorry, we don't need to talk about the pandemic, but
it's going to trickle down. I mean, it was all individual responsibility, and that was like a big part of the problem with like Trump's efforts with COVID. Is it all came down to individual response and like expecting everybody to like do what's good for the whole rather than for themselves is like not an American way of thinking.
Yeah.
It's like other countries have like more of a societal, like we should do what's good for everybody, like Spock, like the Vulcans, they have it.
Right.
But not us. So I think that was a big problem. And then I think that going forward, that's what's expected. It's just like going to be like individual choice. So like if it seems like cases are skyrocketing, like it's going to be up to the individuals to like be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't know. I saw Boris Johnson talking about it, and basically they're just opening up, but they are at least doing contact tracing. So that's like a little bit better than us just opening up and not doing any contact tracing or having anybody self-isolate.
Is America doing that? I don't even know.
No.
Yeah. No, we're not doing any.
Yeah.
We're just
no
panicking
exactly.
if something bad happens. Yeah, I don't know if I got to start avoiding. I think like TikTok and shit again. Like I can't watch all those things I subscribe to where it's like nurses arguing with people constantly and it's just not healthy.
I saw a few people screaming about getting vaccinated on TikTok, like doctors.
Right, and it's just like I can't do this anymore. It's wearing on. And
once we got the vaccines, I was like, nothing is going to improve from here for us. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like for us, like we just have to like make the choice to like go back to work in certain environments and like however we're going to navigate the world. Like I'm going to wear my mask at the grocery store and I'm going to, not wear it outside. Like we're all just going to individually choose our response, but like this is as good as the government level response is going to be for us,
I was thinking too, like, okay, this is a weird concept. I don't know. Follow me on this one. I think you would actually love this brain barf that I had like the other day. I was like, you know what? I hate this so much. I wish if I could re-choose when I was born. I was trying to think when's the best time to be born, and it's got to be like in like the 30s or 40s or for us.
For what? For like American Dream or for what? For what?
For avoiding.
What are you trying to get?
I was trying to not
for avoiding sickness.
For avoiding pandemics. I was literally trying to avoid pandemics. It's like in my mind, but then it crossed my mind.
But then there's like World War II. There's Vietnam. There's a lot of other ways to die.
I know, but I'd probably still be fat and I wouldn't be able to go to war.
All right. So you're coming back exactly as yourself.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be the same. So I probably can't go to war. But I was thinking like like if I had to choose a new time frame to be alive in, then it just, my brain instantly went to, then I could be in a different era of film. Like, like my first thought was just
some 70s films. Yeah.
Right. My first thought was just like, okay, let's get away from the pandemics. But then when is the filmmaking really good?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, because
that'd be fun.
I always dream about like the fact, like I always think about Kevin Smith or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not trying to talk about his movies, but like back when he made Clerks, just the act of filming something was amazing. And even farther back, just the act of turning a camera on and filming something on film and cutting it together, that was a feat that most humans could never imagine.
Right.
And we live in a time where I could make a movie tomorrow.
This is a movie.
This is a documentary. This is a documentary about you or me. Right. It's no longer.
It's true. It's so easy. Yeah.
Like just to time travel back to when capturing image was impressive. I think I would feel more motivated to do it.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean? Like
when it was more rare.
When it was hard. When it was rare.
Yeah,
when making a film was something that every human being on the planet couldn't do with the thing in their pocket.
Right. Yeah. I can see that. I definitely love the way 70s films look. That's my decade.
It's the best.
So
it's the best film
to have
decade.
been like to be like 20 in 1971 or 2 and making films would have been pretty good.
Right.
I would choose the 70s probably for music too, like the late 70s.
Really?
To be like 20 in like 77 in New York or LA or London.
What's your second favorite decade? I know you love the 70s. Well, what's your second favorite?
Probably the 80s, because I love action movies and stuff.
Okay.
But I also love film noir and I love Hitchcock and all, so it's kind of hard to say, but probably the 80s has more bang for my buck.
Okay, I see. Now this is cool because this surprises me. Like we talk about movies a lot, but I feel like we're always talking indie movies. We're never talking like popular shit. Yeah. So like I didn't know that you liked 80s that much. Like that. Okay. Like I knew 70s was your deal, but
yes. Well, yeah. Certainly, I love giallo movies, and I love like all the weird
Bava.
Like people, Bava is my favorite. But like people, I just feel like, especially those Italians, were just like, go make a movie, and it's like, here's some money, and like, there's no other stipulations. Just have some pretty ladies in it, and go make something weird. And they just all made something super artistic. And I don't know if it's like that's just like Italian culture coming through. It's like to be surrounded by art. But all those movies are amazing. But even like American movies at that time, like The Conversation or something like, or like, they're just super gritty movies, or like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
but the 80s, like just for like kitchen nostalgia, like I love like Total Recall. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I love.
I'm a huge
like,
I've got. You can't see it, but I've got like
stuff.
3 Schwarzenegger posters in this room alone. So I mean, there's RoboCop, but yeah, I'm a huge Schwarzenegger. Or
like Alien, like all like the sci-fi that came out in the 80s. I love all that stuff. So
Alien's 70s, but yeah, I mean, Aliens.
Well, late. I didn't see it in the 70s. But yeah, I agree.
Also, I can't see, like, I know our tastes can diverge pretty heavily, but I was so happy the other day when you told me you love Face Off. I was like, yes. I don't know why. Whenever you say you love something like that, I'm like, fucking A, if Sophia likes it, then it's gotta be great.
It's true cinema.
It's true cinema.
No,
so, yes.
I love like just over the top shit. And I just think like that movie, like people give it so much shit. Like as if it's not like an amazing feat of a film.
Like, it's also fuck them. It's John Woo. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful.
It's
like
awesome.
The fucking doves in the church fluttering. I don't know who came up with the face thing. It's either Travolta or Nick Cage, and they're both super weird, like in their own ways. So I could easily see like one of them did it, and then the other one was like, "I'm gonna do that every time now." But it's so genius to have like a visual representation of who is in whose body, at that point. The tech, like the scene where they're switching the faces, like looks awesome for the time. Like I don't know why people hate that movie. It's like they're both.
Do people hate that? Who hates that movie?
I don't know. I feel like people give it shit for being like a trashy movie, and like especially like it kind of goes back to like why I love Nick Cage so much. It's because like I think people get uncomfortable when actors are like over the top.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
But to me, I'm like, if I'm getting uncomfortable because they're over the top in like an exciting way, I'm like, wow. I'm being surprised and like I want to see how far this goes, and so like he always, even in shitty movies, he always like brings something to it and surprises me in some way. And that's what makes him a great actor to me. And it's not always the same. He's not always doing the same thing. He actually like thinks about his roles and does different shit in every movie. So I don't know. I think he's like one of the best actors.
I think the people that trash Nick Cage in general, not just Face Off, but like in general, they seem to think that he's not aware of what he is doing. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, you ever see people shitting on him online, or even, you know, however.
He's not doing the same thing every time.
No, they think he's like unaware of it, and he's just showing up and shitting out whatever. And I'm
being like, ooh.
Yeah. I was like, no, he is being extremely meticulous with this stuff.
Yes.
He is fully aware of what he's doing and who he is. Mm-hmm. If you've ever seen any interview with him, he's completely aware of the whole thing, Rage Cage and all that crap.
There's an interview he did that's on YouTube with like GQ or something, just like breaking down his roles.
So good.
It's incredible because he'll be like, oh, I'm doing this scene in like the end of Mandy. I forget what it was, like some kung fu movie or something, but he's like, oh, I'm doing this smile from this movie at the end of Mandy. And it's like he just equate, or he's like, I'm doing this thing from Nosferatu and Vampire's Kiss. And he just equates every choice to a movie he's seen. And I love that about him, that he is such like a movie buff and it's like so like, and broke it down from the acting standpoint of like why this works or why he likes this performance and how he can bring it forward in his performances. Like, I like actors that actually watch films and think about that stuff, because often I meet actors who don't watch that many films. It was just like so odd to me because like I watch a lot of movies.
One of the things I love about him is I think he watches his own movies too. Whenever I'm watching like an interview with an actor and they're like, oh, I never watched my stuff or anything.
Like,
I'm like,
Adam Driver.
Right.
Adam Driver wouldn't even let the late night shows show clips of his movie. Like, what? Just fucking chill out, dude. Chill.
I like him as an actor, but that's too much for me. I'm like, come on, you gotta watch yourself. How are you gonna get better?
Exactly.
But I get the feeling that Cage, like, I could totally see Nick Cage at home, completely alone, with like a whiskey in his hand and his probably weird ass theater, watching his own movies and talking to himself during it. You know what I mean? Like. And,
I can see that. Yeah,
like, and he knows what he gets it, even no matter how lowbrow it is. He seems to get what he's doing. Yeah, and he's made fun of himself multiple times. Mm-hmm. But what I like about like Face Off too is like, I was gonna say both of them were coming off like prestigious moments in their careers. Like John Travolta just came back to the world as not a joke anymore with Pulp Fiction.
Right. Exactly,
and then that's the kind of stuff he was diving into, you know?
But it's so well done.
It's so,
like, I mean,
their performances are good. I don't care what anyone says.
They're great.
Says. Yeah.
They're both great in it. And the movie is just like a technical feat. So I don't understand the hate. Or even thinking it's not a great movie. Like, why is like Die Hard considered a great action movie and Face Off isn't? You know,
I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know.
So
I consider
you don't sense the hate of it. I feel like I sense a lot of Face Off. Like people, like what we were saying, I think people just can't get behind the over the topness of their acting in it. I think that's more. Maybe, and then you've got John Woo, where it's also over the top cinematography. So I don't know.
Could it be maybe that, I don't know. I think most of my friends love Face Off, so
yeah.
I don't know if the circles I run in have ever shit on Face Off that much, but
I feel like I've seen it. Yeah,
I've seen like online people shitting on it and stuff. You know, I mean, they shit on Nick Cage in general, just even though I'm like, the dude was in Raising Arizona. Fuck you. You know, like, it doesn't. You know, like, what are you talking about?
Yes, what is your problem?
Yeah, he did win an Oscar for acting.
I mean, does that mean that much? Maybe. He broke through, though. You know, it broke through.
Not
like,
to me.
The general,
not to you and me, but
the general consensus of what is acting. He broke through that barrier.
I would have given it to him for different movies than Leaving Las Vegas, but. You know,
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't remember it.
I'd give him an Oscar for Con Air.
There you go. That's a good performance.
I mean, that accent is it's a workout to watch, but I love it.
Right.
I can watch I can watch 90s blockbusters like constantly. If I like, they're kind of my comfort zone. If I had one, if I had a comfort food, you know, I guess obviously because that's how old we are. But
right, sure. Yeah, that's our time period.
Is that
of like being a young teen watching.
It's not that I don't obviously love 70s and 80s. and I can watch that stuff constantly. But to something in the 90s, I think it's that sweet spot in my life where it's like I am completely wigging out about something. I'm like, okay, put on Face Off for like Con Air or Armageddon even, or something like really dumb and big, and it calms me down. I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like funny, like we had all those blockbusters, and like some of them did launch series, but like now I feel like all the blockbusters are superhero stuff, and it gets so boring to me. Like,
yeah,
that's where the $100 million is going, and not to like Con Air or Armageddon or Independence Day. You know, like it's just like
I really miss that type of thing, that type of disaster.
Yeah, like some original. I love disaster films. Something falling down or catching on fire. I mean,
even when they're just awful. Like I watched, like a couple months ago, I watched 2012, which is a movie I don't like that much.
Terrible, but
I enjoy watching it.
Exactly.
Right.
I hate John Cusack, but it's okay. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'll give that movie some credit because that has something that truly scares me, which is like the ground literally falling out from under us. I was like,
as you're driving away.
No matter how dumb that whole scene is, I'm like, that is terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I kind of love disaster movies, and they're gone. Like they're all.
Yeah, well, because now we're in the actual disaster that they were warning us about.
Yeah, you're
so,
right.
like, why
you're
would
right.
you make that movie? Like,
Right.
oh, like, we'll make the ocean look like it's on fire. Like, you don't need to do that. It is on fire. Just go film that and put it on the news. Like, oh, Canada's on fire? That's not a movie anymore. You know,
it was
Australia's on fire.
The ocean was on fire last week or something.
Yeah,
right?
literally the ocean.
It's
and
not
they
funny.
had like they had 3 boats. I mean, the memes were funny.
Yeah.
But 3 boats like throwing water on the ocean fire. Like, I'm like, it's just gonna burn up. Like, there's nothing.
Like, how did we get here where the ocean's on fire?
Exactly. Yeah.
Things are so bad. Water is on fire.
Water
All right.
is on fire.
I guess at that point, no CEO in Hollywood's going to greenlight a disaster movie because it's like these people don't want this. I guess.
No.
What do we want people to save us from this hell? I guess that's that's the notion. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You know,
we're all going down with the ship.
I'm trying to think. The only thing I can think comparable to disaster movies is like Godzilla movies, I guess, that have come out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think that I can't think
Yeah,
of
I
anything.
guess. Or like Pacific Rim or like, the Godzilla movies.
Which even then, it's like the disasters have gotten to the point where they're just silly. Because we don't want to deal with anything real. Even though Godzilla movies are old. But
exactly. I feel like the last like big disaster movie was like the Tom Cruise one. Like, was it like
War of the Worlds?
Tomorrow or something? War of the Worlds, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of stuff
that's like 2010 or 2012.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
Yeah, that's like a decade ago. So they kind of went away after that. I think they kind of went away after 2012.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm trying to think.
That's kind of true.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. It's okay. First of all, this is 2005. Look at our brains.
God, are you serious?
Time ago. Yeah.
Holy shit! I should know the year of that.
It's a long time ago. Yeah. Because I feel like a bunch of stuff like caught on ice. That's not an expression, but a bunch of stuff like got really icy and broke in that movie. I thought that was cool.
Wasn't there? Yeah, that was the Day After Tomorrow. Was also the ice one. Was the one where they're running from global warming?
Is that what I'm thinking of?
You're thinking of Day After Tomorrow. Yeah, that was one where they're running from global warming, and it had all those really bad CGI wolves in it.
Really fast.
Yeah, that was
that was the year before, so that's probably why I have them both in my head together.
Yeah,
it's like the same time period.
That's like. If I'm going to miss anything about movie theaters, not that they're gone, and I haven't been back yet, but that's the kind of thing, like, I know we can all shit on all these big movies all we want, but I think to some degree it is like life experience. Like, I miss, the crowded theater watching something stupid. Like, that, to me, that had the value, and I miss that's the one thing.
Yeah, the group experience, talking to your friends afterwards. It's like, it is part of like a shared experience.
Right. And that's something that you
like. I love Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I just
would I love it if I watched it by myself, like my house? Maybe not, but I saw it in 3D with a bunch of my friends, and bats were flying at my head, and I was like, "Yeah, this movie's cool." So I don't want to go back and revisit that. I'm not, Steven, if you're listening, I'm not going to watch it for the whole time. Because in my mind, it was such a great experience.
Right.
You know,
I have watched it within the last year, so
yeah,
I can tell you. Well, no, it's not.
Satisfying?
It makes. It's not that it's not satisfying. It makes no fucking sense. Like the movie doesn't make any sense, but it does have the most hilarious moment ever, which is it obviously was an editing thing where they were like, how do we give Abraham Lincoln enough power to fight vampires? Where it's like they think they were going to give him a reason, like he was going to be like a Blade type thing where he was like half vampire. No, in the end, they just settled on the power of truth enables him to like chop a tree down with one hit, and that was it. It was just he has to believe in it. And then that's how he has the power to fight vampires. It makes no sense. I like that director though.
What else did he do?
He did the Night Watch trilogy. He was the Timur Bekmambetov.
Oh wait, the Russian movies?
The Russian movies, yeah.
I fucking love those movies.
You like Wanted, right? You're a big Angelina Jolie fan.
Well, yeah, obviously it's one of the only tolerable Angelina Jolie movies. So obviously I like it.
Wait, what's another tolerable one? What's something else you like?
Okay, well, I love her in like some of the 90s stuff like Foxfire or Gia or
Hackers.
Oh yeah, Hackers. I forgot. I was like, there's another one I really liked. I mean, there's also some shitty 90s ones in there. There's like one called like Hell's Kitchen that was terrible. The Bone Collector is like kind of awful. You know, like
yeah.
There's definitely some terrible ones.
What about
The first Tomb Raider is pretty fun.
Oh yeah. I like both. I like them. They're fun.
The one where she punches a shark.
Yeah. What about Class of 1999? Right?
She's not in that.
She's not in that? What am I thinking of then?
I don't think so.
Or Cyborg 2. I'm thinking of Cyborg 2. Sorry. I don't know how
I did like Cyborg 2 at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it now. But
exactly. Like I just remember there were a lot of weird penis jokes like with who was the other guy in Cyborg 2?
Isn't her father in it? Isn't John Voight in Cyborg 2?
He might be, but there's like a main guy that's like a Tommy Lee Jones kind of guy.
Oh, I thought it was John Voight.
No, I don't think he's like the main person with her.
So I'm getting the sense that even though you're a huge Jack Palance, right? Curly.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
Curly. Yeah. I always call him Curly. I'm getting
that was a weird movie. Okay.
I'm getting the sense that you love Angelina Jolie, but maybe her more prestigious years you're not as into. Like when she got more Oscar heavy.
I was like, what did she do that was okay? She did like a really racist movie where she played a black woman.
What?
Wife of a
What?
So I can't like that movie. Mighty Heart. It was about like it was a true story about the wife of like one of the journalists that was killed in Afghanistan.
What?
Terrible movie. Yes.
How do I not know about that? Okay.
It's called A Mighty Heart, but basically she has like an afro and she's playing like a black woman, and it's like it's so wrong and bad.
Wait. Is she wearing blackface?
No, she's
okay.
I mean, because she's like she kind of has like a pigment a little bit,
okay.
like, but not in a true sense. And the person might be like a mixed person, but like definitely it's a black woman, you know.
Oh God.
That she's playing, and it's a real person. So like you can look at her and look at the photo and be like, why is this happening? Yeah. So there's that movie. Like what? Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is good.
That's okay. I don't hate it. Yeah, I mean, the two of them, it's hard not to, you can stare at the two of them. It's easy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Salt was actually pretty good because that was supposed to be a Tom Cruise movie. And so it was actually like, okay.
And they just gave it to her instead.
Yeah, they didn't really change it much, I don't think.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's okay.
Yeah, Salt's okay. Yeah.
I mean, she kind of moved away from genre a little bit for a few years. Like she got really serious and
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, she was doing all those action movies for a minute, and that's always fun.
Yeah,
like The Tourist was kind of garbage, but it was also kind of fun. And it was like right before Johnny Depp became unwatchable.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think he's done like any movie that like I'm like this is a great movie.
Ever?
Yeah, no. Like
really?
That's actually like what you're saying, like prestigious and like is actually like just a good movie. No.
Oh, I'd have to go through the whole list. I mean, I obviously love a lot of stuff he's done. So
yeah. Well, like Girl Interrupted was like a prestige movie, I think. You know, she got an Oscar for that, but like I don't like that movie that much.
I'm okay on it. I don't want to watch it again. Okay. Yeah, no. I don't want to watch it again.
It's a lot of 90s damage in that movie, I feel like.
I mean, I've always been sort of lukewarm on Jolie, but I like her when she's when she's having fun, I think. But I've never watched a lot of her more like Oscar bait stuff. That's never. I don't like Oscar bait stuff really. I don't know. Drama.
Yeah.
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 I don't really gravitate. Yeah.
I don't think she's done a ton of Oscar bait though. It's like just a bunch of garbage mostly.
Really?
Like Alexander and Beowulf, those are just like garbagey big blockbuster movies.
I did like Beowulf, but
it was okay.
It's okay. It's cool looking.
Was it Crispin Glover? Was he the monster in Beowulf?
Yeah. So that was the first time he worked with Zemeckis since all the stuff went down with Back to the Future 2. When he sued them because of image rights and everything. So that was like a big deal.
Yeah, that movie's okay.
It's fine. I'm not sitting here to die on a hill for Beowulf. I love the score. How's that? I love the score. I'll die on that.
I made Michael order me the Blu-ray to Angelina Jolie directed her own like 70s style divorce movie with Brad Pitt called By the Sea, and it just came this week, so I'm gonna watch that. But that's like one of the only ones. I mean, besides like I haven't watched like Kung Fu Panda, but like that's like one of the only movies I haven't seen of hers.
You know, so the Kung Fu Panda trilogy, I gotta say, is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you'd like it. But
I don't watch children's movies a lot because I don't like kids. And I don't like things for kids.
So like
I don't have like childhood nostalgia, so I don't know. I just don't like it.
Right. No, I got
you. Same with like high school movies and like sorority movies, like college movies, like all that. It has to be really good for me to like.
So are you saying you didn't like Ghoulies 3? Because Ghoulies go to college? Come on. So like you just like movies about adults and their adult problems and dealing with horrible
like, disasters or aliens. Yeah, like I don't like realistic movies about adults. Yeah, as I get older too, there's a director I love, and I'm blanking on his name, but he did
for anyone listening to the audio version. Sophia's constantly Googling things.
I'm constantly Googling things because my brain doesn't work that good.
That's fine. Mine's been mush for about a year, so it's okay.
Usually I have Michael around and his brain works slightly better than mine. I can be like, and I'll like very vaguely just that description, he would probably know who I'm talking about. So, and
also Michael's the guy who's like, you talk about anything and he brings up like 5 links instantly, you know, in the chat. Yes. He's like, here's like 6 things that, and you're like, what were you doing this whole time? Were you waiting at the gun, like to just push the button on this stuff?
No.
Sorry.
No,
what were you saying?
Like that. No, I love Peter Strickland, this director. He's like UK Belgium director, but his movies always have older women in them, and they're like very like fantastical. He obviously loves Giallo movies, but what's the name of the butterfly one? Hold on, because he did Barbarian Sound Studio, but The Duke of Burgundy. That's the movie. The Duke of Burgundy, and then his most recent one was In Fabric, which is like, it's good. I feel like it did some weird narrative things that kind of threw me off, but I do need to see it again. But The Duke of Burgundy and In Fabric, like the women are like in their 40s and 50s, and I love that so much. Or like Cate Blanchett's work now, like just like let the women look like older women, and they're still super beautiful because they started off beautiful, and so like just allow them to have some wrinkles and give them some interesting roles, because like that is what I respond to now. Like I don't need to watch a movie about a 20-year-old girl anymore. Like
right.
I don't care. Like those problems feel like 100 years ago, you know? Like I'd rather have some weird fucked up shit with the dress happen to a woman who's 50, you know? Much more interesting to me.
Absolutely. No, I mean like I like movies about kids, so I can't really see eye to eye with you there. But also like 1,000%, please let people be old. Like I really like half the time I'll watch a movie, and this goes for men too. I'll watch a movie that stars like a younger, attractive actor, and I'm like, if this was just a 50-year-old man instead of a 25-year-old boy, I would like this movie. It's just it annoys me that it's a young person. You know,
right? Well, sometimes it doesn't even fit like the story they're trying to tell.
Right?
You know,
like
or it's like a 56-year-old guy with like a 20 or 30-year-old wife, and I'm like, why? Just cast an older woman.
Yeah,
Like,
just let
there
them
shouldn't
be
be
old.
a 30, 40-year age gap in your actors if they're married.
Yeah,
Like,
just let them
it's
be
just
old.
too much.
I also don't think that. I think that's like an old Hollywood ideal. Like, people think old people are hot. I'm sorry, like, not to be, just to be blunt, like, old people can be hot. No, I don't mean like 90.
Men and women, but I feel like
men and women, yeah,
allowed to be like a silver fox and whatever,
right,
and like
right.
people still find that sexy, but like it's less so with women.
How do I say it and not be creepy?
In Hollywood,
I'm like, how do I say this and not be creepy? Older women are hot to me. I mean, like, you know, I mean, Kate Blanchett's going to be hot for the next 30, 40 years. That's just the truth.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren's still, hot. Oh my gosh, she's a babe. She's a total babe.
Even Sophia Loren, she's like 80 now. She still looks good. Like, you know, Jane Fonda looks amazing. Like,
she's 82.
She's had a lot of work done, but she's still, it was good. She had a good surgeon.
Hey, me and you are both.
I don't knock it. I don't knock it.
We're both big Grace and Frankie fans, right?
Yeah.
So Jane Fonda, totally agree. 100%. Like, not that I'm watching Grace and Frankie to be like, hey, yeah, you know, but even though
I feel like that's a great show for showing that older women have personalities and like still have a function in society, you know, because like I feel like often it's like the roles are like either crazy grandma, which I do enjoy, like some roles like that, like Mars Attacks or something, like the crazy grandma that like actually knows something is kind of fun, like but Addams like there's a whole there's like a whole dearth though between like 40 and 70 where like women are allowed to be cool or have like something going on in their lives besides being like mom, wife, you know, like and associated with the man that they're with.
That's why I love that show is Lily Tomlin is like, it's rare that I get to watch a show as a late 30s white male, and I'm like, I watch a show where I want to hang out with like a woman in her late 70s. I mean, not that I wouldn't
get high and go to Del Taco.
not that I wouldn't want to hang out with Lily Tomlin. I've always wanted to hang out with Lily Tomlin, but it's just like she's so cool in that show. It's a rarity. When do you? I mean, Golden Girls, I guess, was the last time that happened. I don't know.
Right, just go hang out.
Right.
The thing that blows my mind is like the youngest Golden Girl at that time was like maybe 50, maybe not even 50. Like when they started the show.
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, I was a little kid watching that show,
right?
But I thought they were like 80. You know?
Yeah,
and I feel like that's how they were kind of portrayed, or like maybe like 65, 70 to 80. Like, so it was probably the 80.
The premise of the show, is saying they're like all in their 60s or 70s or 80s.
They're retired. Yeah, retired.
Yeah, it wasn't
older,
50s.
Widowed. Yeah, definitely did not seem that way, and yet they were like 48.
You could also argue though that like the Golden Girls portraying it that way was a product of its time. Like we would throw people away at a younger age. Like you're not sexually viable anymore, so now you can star in a sitcom about you know, a bunch of old people, even though you're only like 55. And now 55 is like it's nothing.
It shouldn't be. Yeah.
I mean, Grace and Frankie, they're fucking all the time.
They are.
Right? I mean, Lily Tomlin's, she's dating Ernie Hudson, and what's the other guy? Peter Gallagher, right? Is
I love him. Yeah. Jane Fonda's boyfriend. Yeah.
And Sam Waterston and Sheen, they're not spring chickens anymore, but they're still handsome.
They're okay. They're okay.
They're not your type. Okay, fine. What about Ernie Hudson? Like, come on, Ernie Hudson. I like
that they have a gay. Yeah, Ernie Hudson's hot.
Yeah.
I like that they have like a gay relationship. I don't know that they are terribly believable as a gay couple.
But I love their stuff so much. I like
their relationship. Yeah. But like them as actors, I don't quite believe it. You know, but. I like that they try.
I like everyone on that show, honestly. Like I kind of, because it's such a chill show, you know. What is
it's kind of like a Schitt's Creek where like nothing too terrible is gonna happen, so like you can just feel comfy watching it, you know, and you can I like all the kids, you know, like I like all their little side stories. Like it's just like, you know, you can be comfortable.
I am such a huge fan of June Diane Raphael, or I think that's her name. The
Is she?
I think she's Jane Fonda's daughter.
Oh yeah. Jane
Oh my
Fonda. Yeah,
God.
the one that
Like,
owns. Yeah, dude.
I mean,
all her outfits. I want all of her blazers.
not only is she gorgeous, she's funny as hell. I just love. Yeah. I'm such a big fan. I wish if we didn't live on opposite sides of the country, I would come over and watch these shows with you because I know Michael hates them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Michael doesn't watch any of this shit.
He hates.
And Grace and Frankie. Literally, the last time, because I know there's a new season coming out, but we don't have Netflix, and this comes up a lot. I know. Chat. But the last time a new season came out, I was shooting something up in Portland, and our Airbnb had Netflix, and I binged it all overnight before having to shoot the next day because I'm like, this is my chance to watch Grace and Frankie. So yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, and I watched Schitt's Creek in the pandemic by myself. On my phone.
Like I know we're not trying to talk about Mike here, but how the hell who the hell doesn't like Schitt's Creek? Come on, who the hell doesn't like Schitt's Creek? He refused
to do it. He refused to do it. And it's funny because he likes like classic sitcoms. Like we watched all of Three's Company, and we watched all of Mary Tyler Moore Show and The Golden Girls, and like so he likes those shows. But I could not get him on board with Schitt's Creek, even though I feel like that is the closest to one of those shows that we've had in a long time.
I mean, it seems right up his alley too. Whatever. I don't know.
He's a mystery.
He's a mystery, man. I can't. And I'm like a huge fan of sitcoms. Like they are, like the older I get, like as much as we talk about filmmaking and everything, the older I get, I'm like, I almost wish I just got into television somehow. Like I watch a lot of sitcoms. My letterbox never gets updated. It's not because I'm not watching movies. It's because I just have on sitcoms in the background all day.
Yeah.
Constantly. And I'm kind of like, why didn't I ever try to do this? Why didn't this ever come up as a viable creative option, you know?
Because you got to go to Toronto or New York or LA and join the union.
Yeah. And you got to like bust your ass writing constant scripts. Like, being a sitcom writer is probably not easy.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
But yeah, no, I kind of have a new love affair in my older age with sitcoms. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and I have no taste anymore. That could be also it.
Like I was saying, there is something like bite-sized comforting about them. And it's like, and I feel like the benefit of like long form shows like that is like, you feel like they're your friends and you're invested in their life. And like, you know, there's something to that. Like, I feel that with like Star Trek. Like, I feel like I'm invested in their lives because they're my friends. And when you have 100 episodes of something, it's easy to like work that into your routine in your life.
And I think, did you ever hear like, as far as like audience, how it construes in like reality into the actual person watching? Like, did you ever hear like Rob Williams talk about how it was not even a contest when he would walk down the street, he would still like even when he was older get Mork stuff and how much people love Mork. And he said it's like no matter how many movies I do, it doesn't matter because in the end when you're in people's living rooms every week, it means something to them beyond what a movie can do. It's like the family sits down, you're part of their home, you're in their house. It meant something.
I agree.
You know, and that like it makes a lot of sense now. You know, I don't know if I'm that guy to make that kind of thing, but like for me as a viewer, I'm like, oh, that's why this stuff is comforting because it reminds me, you know, the bite-sized story that everything's okay in half an hour.
Right. And nothing and they get up to hijinks, but nothing like too terrible ever happens.
Right.
Where it's like going to be emotionally super hard. That's why I like Downton Abbey because like sometimes I love a British period drama.
Right.
There's like a horrible rape episode and I'm like eating my dinner, like watching Downton Abbey, which should be a safe show.
Right.
And there's like a fucking rape scene. And I'm like, why is this happening? Like, I'm just trying to enjoy myself. Like, get out of here. And I stopped watching it for a long time. And I think I even tweeted at the guy. I'm like, fuck you. I was really mad.
I've never watched it. Was that like their very special episode? Like, I never watched Downton Abbey, but
no, it was just they went on a weird story tangent with one of the maids, like having like, and then they had to deal with it for like 2 more seasons. It was so obnoxious. Unless you like weird dramas, I wouldn't really recommend the show, but it is interesting from a class standpoint because like it's like upstairs, it's like the upstairs downstairs show. It's like, you know, you got the servants and what they're up to, and then like the totally oblivious people upstairs.
So, on the same token,
and their problems.
Like, this is not even close to being like Downton Abbey, but I stopped watching Walking Dead after they did like their lots of rape season.
Mm.
They had a season, I think it was the...
I never watched Walking Dead.
There was a season where there was like an evil guy controlling a town that was secluded, and you know, and then he had, there's like a sex power thing, and I was like, all right. I was like, now we're not doing zombies. I get that it's about the humans and they're the ultimate evil, but I was like, now it's not, I can't chill to this anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like, relaxing anymore.
Right. Like, I get it. And if it was a movie, maybe it could work if handled right, but because you're in and out in 90 minutes and it's just its contained thing. But now you made the whole thing like this.
Yeah.
These characters, now the characters are carrying with them the end of the world, and they've been raped, and I don't...
And trauma.
Yeah, like, come on, man. I mean, like, sitcoms used to have the, you know, like, Different Strokes had, like, the molestation episode, but the rest of the show wasn't about the boys being...
Right. They get it over in 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think Golden Girls even had, like, a... Didn't they have one that was, like, Blanche had something? I remember something happening, but it wasn't the show. It didn't turn into that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's the thing with Downton Abbey. They really had to deal with it for many seasons, to the point where, like, eventually her husband kills the rapist, like, because she kept it a secret from him, but he found out and, like, goes to jail. Like, it's just like, it was so outrageous. Like, but they kept bringing it up, and it was like, oh, the show.
Have you ever... deal with it anymore. I know that you haven't, but do you remember the show The Slap? That sounds like that. It's like, I never watched it myself, but it was a TV show where the first episode was about the guy who played Spock in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, and it's him slapping a child in a neighborhood because they get into some kind of like argument, and he slaps the kid, and the entire show is about the fallout from him slapping the child.
That's almost fascinating. Like that almost,
it got canceled.
Like on paper, it sounds interesting.
It got canceled so quick.
I'm sure. Who greenlit that?
I don't know. But it was called The Slap. That was the name of the show. And it was just about a kid getting slapped once.
That is, oh my God, the poster for it, it's like a sad mom holding the crying child.
Right. It's just like,
wow.
The entire show was dealing with one of those depressing incidents. Is what
it's like.
How do you make season 2 of that? What is season 2? It's a crazy
cast. Yeah, what does he do in season 2? Like, shoot a kid? Yeah, it's like Uma Thurman and Sandy Newton. Like, how did they get these people to do this show?
I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to watch it to see how the hell what the hell why is that not half an hour long? Like, why?
Oh my God. Like, okay. This is like a perfect example of what you were saying before. It sounds like it could just be a 90-minute movie, and maybe it would be interesting, you know, because like the description is like, a once happy family begins to fall apart following a seemingly minor incident in which a man slaps the couple's misbehaving child. Like, maybe that could be like a weird Oscar bait movie.
Or a Lifetime movie. That's a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, Lifetime. Yeah. But to be a series, like multiple, like hours, 8 hours of this.
Right, like you're gonna like it ends, and you're like, all right, I can't wait to see what happens next week when they continue dealing with the slap.
When we continue talking about this, yeah.
I mean, it's not comparable to like a rape episode of a TV show, but I mean, it's like taking one incident and the whole show, the premise is the incident, and then you're like, what do you do after they just move on? These characters eventually are going to be like, people can't be victims forever. You got to keep writing them past that, right?
Yeah, he's got to go to school next year. Yeah, there's like
yeah, and then somebody's like, "You were slapped." He's like, "I don't care anymore."
Right.
I don't give a crap. I don't know why I brought that up. It's just the thing you said about Downton Abbey reminded me of that. I guess I walk away wanting to watch Handmaid's Tale and not Downton Abbey now, just because it sounds more interesting at least.
The grandma on Downton Abbey is like the best part of it. What's her name?
Does that take place in modern day? I know that's a stupid question.
No, it's like it's like they get up to like the Titanic sailing, you know, like it's like the late 1800s, early 1900s. Okay. I'm not sure when the Titanic sailed. It's like the 20s. I think they like it goes over many decades, but I think it starts off like 1890 or something. Okay. Maybe 1900, somewhere around there.
That's how little I know about Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
I've seen sketches about it, and that's about it.
Right. Maggie Smith. That's who I'm talking about. Who is a treasure.
Was Mike watching this with you?
No,
Maggie Smith is a treasure.
Not. Of course not. The only show Michael watches with me presently is Murder, She Wrote.
Well, that's a good show.
It's okay. It's no Columbo, but it's okay.
Is that technically your favorite show?
No, I don't know. It's up there. I enjoyed it.
Okay, if you had a favorite show, what would it be? Do you even have an answer?
I feel like I would have to put like a lot of Star Trek first.
All right, give me your top 3 Star Trek.
Well, TNG, TOS, and Voyager.
Okay.
But I do like the new Star Treks. I like Discovery and I like Picard. Well, Picard, like, we'll see where it goes. It has good things. So yeah, so like all the Star Treks. I do like Columbo. I don't know. I like dinosaurs.
Oh, really?
Bring it back to the 90s.
Holy shit,
Michael
I love
likes dinosaurs too.
I'm such a big fan of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Especially...
Yeah, Columbo's up there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, The Prisoner. Of course, I had a rock band dedicated to The Prisoner.
That's right. Anyone listening to this, they got to watch your music video, your Prisoner music video. It's so good.
Yeah.
You guys made that music. What was it? What's it called?
It's called Arrival. Mm-hmm. So the band was called Do Not Forsake Me, My Darling, and the music video is called Arrival. And basically, like, the entire setup for The Prisoner happens in the opening sequence to the show. So you get 2 minutes of backstory, and then you're dropped, and you know as little as he does about what has happened to him. And so I thought that was like a really cool way to set up a show. And since it was like 2 minutes long, it worked out well
for the song,
for music video length. Yeah. And so then, like, when we did it, we realized it was like 75 shots, like all around 1967 London. You know, like, it was like actually a much bigger feat than it was in my mind. So it took a really long time to make, but it is a shot for shot music video of it where I played the lead. Yeah.
It looks so good. Yeah. That was one of the first things you guys sent me that you had made. I was like, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't be talking to these people. They're like actual filmmakers.
Well, for that, we had a director. This guy, Ted Cormie, was like a music director around Boston. And so like that was like before Michael's band called The Motion Sick did a pretty extensive music video for a song of theirs called 30 Lives. Mm-hmm. And then we like did that video for my band. And so between those two videos, I felt like I learned enough to like be stupid enough to go do my own work, you know, at that point. So I did like very much harass everybody and followed everybody around and like got my hands on everything that I could for both those videos. So you can blame that. You can blame that for me doing stuff. It was in Time magazine.
It was?
I mean, yeah. Well, no, okay, not in print.
I was about to be so impressed. I was going to be so impressed. Not impressed. That's like an IMDb credit type of thing, you know, like, yeah, we were in Time magazine online.
Not in print.
Yeah.
No, some guy did like his like top short content of the year that year, and he put it on his top list. But they didn't have that many top lists, like maybe 10 or 20. I don't know.
Sophia, I am impressed. I don't care if it's the online version. I am impressed. You know,
right,
it's just funny how you said not the print version.
Well, I didn't want to imply I was that famous. I'm only online famous.
That's fine. That's all there is left. There's nothing else.
It's true. It's true. Have you ever when was the last time you picked up a Time magazine? Like 1998? Like, I don't know.
Like literally, like with my hands or purchased. I've never purchased.
To read even at a doctor's office.
The doctor's office.
Do they still have magazines in doctor's office?
Sure. I mean, that probably not now. No one wants to touch anything.
Right. No, but yeah, exactly.
You know, but last time I picked one up was the dentist or doctor's office. I've never gone to a store and been like, oh, Time magazine. Let me see the top music videos.
What were the top videos this year?
Right.
I used to read it in high school. I was like, I read a lot of news. I loved reading news in high school. So I used to read like Time and New York Times. You know why? Because I didn't really have the internet.
Right. Now you're old. Now you've admitted you're old. Yeah.
Now I just like doom scroll some like headlines and I feel like I know that the ocean's on fire and I feel informed. But back then I used to read like actual physical newspapers I would take from school and read them.
Well, let me ask you this. What publication would you being printed in or online spoke about, which would make you feel like you've accomplished a life goal or made it in some way? Is there even one? Is there any more? Like, I don't know. Like maybe Rolling Stone? Like I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about like at growing up and you started doing creative stuff and like...
Yeah, I guess probably Rolling Stone. Okay. Michael was in Spin, so I can't say Spin.
You can say Spin.
But I used to get Spin and Rolling Stone delivered. And to me, because like I said, we didn't have internet. That was like, between that and the college radio station I could just barely pick up in my bedroom, was like how I knew about bands.
Right.
And so if you were in Rolling Stone especially, you made it.
Right.
You probably had a lot of money and like success. And
but
now
if you're
I know
in
that's
Spin,
like
come on. People in Spin.
Spin was less though, because they covered smaller bands. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still read it and love Spin. Yeah.
Okay. What were you in Spin with him or just him?
No.
Okay.
Just Michael. I might be in the photo because I was on the.
Does he ever bring it up like when you guys are fighting? He's like, "Hey, I'm the one who was in Spin. You know who I am? Spin Magazine, 2011." No. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No. But it is in his bio somewhere. Award winning, as appeared in.
Weren't we?
It's a funny question because like we have been in some like major news outlets.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't actually mean what we grew up thinking it meant, that you are successful and you have a career and you like make money in any way. Because what I've learned is like none of that is true.
I like, for me, this sounds so much more pathetic. So, and now it's even worse. So please excuse me, but you'll get a laugh out of this. For me, I read Ain't It Cool News for like 15 years, right? Yeah. Like I was one of those guys that read Ain't It Cool News. I was young, you know. Mm-hmm. And then they featured my short one day, and that was like the biggest day of my life. And then it happened 3 more times. And by the second time, I was like, maybe this isn't that big of a deal. You know? Right. And then, of course, you know, then it all fell apart when Harry was like, outed as an abuser.
Of course.
Yeah, right. That all happened. But that's how small my life goal was, where it was like to be in Ain't It Cool. Right. And then it all fell apart.
But it probably felt further away until you were in it, you know, and then it's like, oh, this doesn't actually mean that much. Like, it's cool. It's awesome to be covered. And like, but then at the end of the day, what does it actually mean?
And then you kind of realize like the people reading it don't care who you are. And
they don't retain it.
They don't retain it.
You know, they won't click the link to go look at the thing. They'll just be like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. Maybe. You know, like until you're covered like 800 more times in every other publication. Like it's a droplet in the ether.
And then it's like you know, do you ask yourself like, then what am I doing this for? Because if you make art, to some degree, tell me if I'm not being arrogant here, you make art to have some piece of you be immortal.
And, for sure. It's the legacy.
It's the legacy. Because, you know, I mean, I'm not a person that's looking to have kids. I'm not leaving that. Mm-hmm. I'm not leaving my seed, my DNA for the world.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm leaving that. And then it's like nothing, you know, like when something like that happens where you get in a publication, you realize nobody cares. You're like, God, so what do I have to do to have a legacy? Like,
right. Well, the thing that drives me crazy is like if you start researching like archivists' worries about media, like because like so like if you try to find like I was in like a bunch of Boston newspapers all the time for my bands, but you can't find evidence of that other than like screenshots I might have on my personal website because like
you can't look it up.
They take those links down and they're gone, you know, or like I guess maybe they hold on to microfiche, but like so much of the internet and early internet is just gone. And so like sometimes I'm like, oh, my Facebook page will be my legacy. But you know what? MySpace fucking deleted me. It's like, you know, Facebook someday might just delete all the dead profiles, you know? And so it's like, there's like a lot of worry about that. And there was worry about that with like records and film because it degrades like the physical drives, you know, like they don't last that long. So it's like, you feel like, oh, it's digital. It's going to be there forever for somebody to care about 1,000 years from now.
It's not.
But it actually might not be. You know, there might not be much evidence of us, especially if it's all online and it somehow it gets degraded or it's whatever,
Well,
the pipes in the ocean fail. It's really scary.
As you know from a movie we made together with some other people we know, I'm a YouTube guy. I've always been centered on that, no matter how non-successful I've been with it. And I always think about, like, I really kind of, that's where all my stuff is. And that's where it's all going to lay. And I'm like, but one day YouTube could easily either delete my account for some reason that I can't control, or their servers just crash and lose everything. Yeah. And then where is my stuff ever going to live? I don't have another place to put it, Yeah.
Especially if this happens 100 years after you die.
Right.
Like they just delete everything from 2012.
They just like, hey, everything like 50 years ago and back is gone. So it's gone. So
that's like matter. Part of the problem with depending on corporations to have any of your interests in their own interests. It just doesn't happen as like, and like filmmakers complain about Amazon a lot because for like a hot minute, we had like Blood of the Tribades on Amazon and it was making like a couple grand a month, for like a few months.
But that's
and it was amazing.
That's fucking awesome though. That
But 6 months later, they cut the rates and suddenly they're making $10 a month. And then they're like, oh, but actually maybe we shouldn't have any indie movies. And so they just delete it. And they've taken away that stream because they're a corporation and they can just decide like, we don't need you. You're like, it was like more when they're setting up their own channel, but now they make their own content. It's kind of like Netflix. They used to buy indie movies, but now they make their own content. And it's like they use us and they use artists to set up their outlets and to like use our content for like almost nothing. And then the minute they don't need us, we're gone out the door.
And there's no like, I don't want to be a bummer, but like whenever you hear about like, we're going to make our own version of a thing, we don't need Amazon. We're going to make, filmfreaks.com and it's going to be awesome. And then you're like, but the normal people aren't coming there. They just aren't.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to be negative. It's just my mom is not going to get filmfreaks.net or whatever and get the app. You know what I mean? Like she just is not going to stumble upon it.
Especially like, I have Amazon Prime because we needed the fast shipping for like various, especially when we were like getting movie props together. I'd be like, I need this now.
Right.
And so like they've got us addicted to fast shipping. So like I get Prime because of that, but I wouldn't pay for Prime otherwise if it didn't have like the other reason,
Right.
And so like that is where people are because they're getting it as a package with another thing that they want. And it's they're not like, and Michael complains about this too because like in all these filmmaking groups, people are like, oh, we're making filmfreaks.com and everybody's gonna get paid and it's like you can't drive people to a news source unless you're a corporation at this point.
Right.
And I don't know if the internet is ever going to get decentralized or just there's 3 companies and that's it. But without the billions of dollars behind it, I don't know how anybody, like even fucking Quibi or whatever, the one for the vertical content, they had a huge seed fund and they failed within a year. So
I love that Quibi happened and then the pandemic happened and it was like the moment society no longer wanted like quick form content, like the way they had all the time in the world to watch all these shows.
Yeah.
So the society slows down to a crawl and you're like, shit, we were making 5-minute content. Fuck. Yeah, they just bombed really bad. That didn't, and that had big names. They had like Kevin Hart and it was huge.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen was involved. Like they had tons of big stuff and it didn't work. But
that's
also
who made American Psycho made a movie for them.
Mary Herron
shot in 9/16 that I really want to see.
I'd watch that just because she did it.
Yeah, but like they, like that's the benefit of like a company like that popping up and being like, oh, we'll give you some money, like when like VHS was huge, they're like, oh, we'll give everybody $100,000, go make a movie. So it was kind of Mary Herron. It was kind of like that for like a hot minute, but
I'm glad I got her name right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I had to Google it because I wasn't sure.
Well, she should be more well known, I feel like. I mean,
she should.
I mean, I don't understand why she hasn't made more. I mean, I understand why, but I get why. But like, you make a movie like American Psycho, you should get more opportunity, right? No, that didn't happen.
Yes. I think like because of like, because I was right around Columbine and stuff, like, I'm pretty sure it was like the same year.
It's 2001.
Okay, so it's just after.
Yeah,
I think there was just like a huge like media like push to like get people not to watch this movie, even though it's a fucking satire and it's a hilarious movie.
It's so funny.
Satirizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. And then that makes like the brutal scenes all that more brutal. But it really got dragged down by like the media temperature at that point, I think.
I saw it I was too young to be following that. Like to be following whatever anyone was saying. I just saw it in my multiplex and I loved it. I don't think I even understood how funny it was when I saw it. I just loved it because it was like a cool horror movie and it was really well made. But over the years, I've fallen in love with it. I can watch American Psycho, I think, anytime. And I'm like, why is she not, like, you hear about Masters of Horror and stuff. Why is she, where's
it's
she?
A great movie.
Why is she not making more horror movies? I know she's made a few things, but, I mean, she's never gotten a theatrical release, I think, since then. Yeah,
maybe not.
She's probably done a lot of TV.
I didn't realize she did this Margaret Atwood show that's okay. Elias Grace. I can never say Elias.
They didn't even give her American Psycho 2. Like, not that she should have, not that she would touch that, but like, why did they offer her American Psycho 2? Right.
That is what kind of happens to a lot of women, though, is like they'll do like some cool movies and then they're pushed into TV, like Rachel Talalay from Tank Girl. Just does tons of TV and that's awesome. But like,
I like to think of her as also from Freddy's Dead.
There you go.
I love Freddy's Dead.
And now she directs Doctor Who episodes, which is great. But I don't know like if her choice was to make more original content or make Doctor Who episodes. Like I know she loves the Doctor Who, but like what would the choice be? Or maybe it would be more of both, but I feel like women,
that's a really formative movie for me.
TV.
Like I really, I'm serious when I say that. Like Tank Girl is a very formative, inspirational movie for me.
I can see that.
Yeah. Like I actually own it on Blu-ray and stuff.
That's a movie I want to see with an audience because I feel like
I would love.
Michael
to see
made me watch it one night and I liked it, but like I didn't have like.
Yeah, I'm not saying
I probably should have had.
I'm not saying it's great, but it's definitely.
I mean, I love.
There's nothing like it. You know what I mean?
What's her face? Lori Petty.
I met her at a convention. She was awesome.
Yeah, she seems cool.
Yeah, she was really cool. That brings me to what I was gonna ask. Like, give me some female directors that I probably don't know about because I'm an ignorant oaf.
Have you seen? Is it called Ravenous?
Oh yeah, I love Ravenous.
Yeah, I mean she died, but that movie is so good.
That movie's so good.
And it's just like good. Again, like proof. Like people always like, oh, women just want to do like women's content.
No,
blah blah blah. That movie doesn't even have any women in it. Like come on. Or like I like Catherine Bigelow. I think like she's not underrated, but she's not as rated as I think she maybe should be.
I still say Near Dark's my favorite vampire movie.
Yeah, I'm very. I disagree, but that's fine.
Now you can't disagree with my opinion.
I disagree with your opinion.
You disagree that it's my favorite vampire movie?
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I do like Near Dark, but like it was so hyped up to me, and I like love vampires.
Right.
And it's okay. It's so 90s, like in the style and like the way it's. I don't know. It's okay. I do like it.
Okay.
I thought Detroit was one of the best horror movies I'd seen in the last decade. If you've seen Detroit. It kind of got dragged down just politically as being like a white woman telling the story of
I remember that.
Whatever, but it's also just like a really scary like home invasion movie with like Nazi cops. Like it's all shot like on super long lenses from far away, and so it feels like it's like adds to the shakiness and adds to like the flatness fly on the wall
and the flatness of it
in there. It's just like the cinematography, it works so well with the content in that movie, even though it feels almost like a documentary because of like those like shooting on everything on like 150 from like down the street, Like,
that was Catherine Bigelow. She directed that?
Yeah, she directed it.
How did I not remember she directed that? Okay.
It's so good.
And you could even argue that her career is due to a man.
Yeah, of
like
course.
It's not like
she probably is.
She's great.
She was given those shots.
She was given her. She did her time with James Cameron, and she was able to do something. But she's totally exceptional.
She's a badass, though.
I mean, Point Break is a fucking great movie. I love Point Break.
It's a bromance. Yeah, it's so good. Blue Steel was good too. I watched that recently.
Yeah,
it's not great. But
I wouldn't say it's great.
It's okay. I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I like Gigi Salguero as for a new director. If you saw Culture Shock, it was a Hulu Blumhouse original.
I did not see that.
But she like, and some of those were just kind of like paint by number feeling, like some of those Hulu Blumhouse movies. But that one, I feel like she really took and made it her own. And so it's a really cool story of like a woman crossing the border and what the American dream is once she gets here. It's really, really well done. I thought she did, El Gigante was like big on she did a bunch of shorts. So she came from like the Vancouver short horror movies and then now is making bigger stuff. And she like directed an episode of like that Purge TV show recently. And so I'm excited about
so she's actually kind of living the dream a little bit, at least. Somebody.
Totally. She's actually like one of the few people that I feel like I've seen break through from shorts and from film festivals and like climbing that ladder to working for Blumhouse and working for, I think she did one of the, it's not out yet, but like Blumhouse did a deal with Amazon Prime and she did one of those movies.
Gotcha.
So I'm excited to watch them, but I don't think that's come out yet. But Culture Shock is out and it's on Hulu and it's really good. But yeah, totally. She's very inspirational. And I don't know if part of it like is being from Vancouver because like there's that whole film scene in Vancouver and I think that probably did help.
Yeah.
But she made great shorts too and like went everywhere with them. So that's cool.
That was totally, that's what got her there is shorts. That's always refreshing for me.
Yeah. I think she maybe taught film at like some Vancouver school or something, or like somehow was like in the faculty of that. But I do think it was like shorts and networking.
Gotcha. Okay.
From the outside, that's what it appears to have been.
Okay.
She also acts. She's in stuff.
I'm gonna probably watch Culture Shock this week then.
Do it.
Yeah.
It was funny because Hulu was pushing it again because it came out because like the Amazon or the Blumhouse Hulu thing was like a monthly like for the holiday of that month, and that one was like their Independence Day movie, their July 4th American Dream movie. Oh. So they were pushing it again this week.
I realize that now that the podcast is just Sophia. Tell me what my watch list should be.
What is it? The woman who did Humanoids from the Deep. Speaking of people that
now
do enough movies. I love that. I love most of that movie.
I mean, you know my thoughts on that movie. Like I like it and I think I enjoy it just like you do, but when I watched the behind the scenes, I found it so hilarious. Like
really? I didn't watch the behind the scenes.
I say hilarious, I mean like, oh no. Like
like Roger Corman, I mean he's one of the few people who like kind of took risks on some female directors in the 70s and 80s, and that like the Velvet Vampire, I think it's called, was like a like kind of softcore vampire movie from a woman that like was a Corman funded movie, and that's pretty good too. But then he totally like fucked the movie up by adding a bunch of fish rape. But it's like so hilarious looking and not realistic at all. I find it funny to watch.
Yeah, it's not traumatizing.
Knowing it wasn't her intention.
If you watch the behind the scenes, is the way it's edited, where it's like it's her talking about how she didn't want it, and then it cuts to like Corman saying, "Well, then we had to replace her and film all these fish rape scenes." And we hired a man, and it's just like, oh man, the way they cut it together, it's so insulting,
right?
And I mean, Roger Corman's a legend. I'm not trying to say he's like creepy or anything. But it comes off bad. It comes off real bad.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, like for him or for like Lloyd Kaufman, where it's like they feel like they have a formula they need to hit.
Yeah, I get it.
And like I guess it did work because they made money, and he made a lot of movies. I get that side of it. Like they think they need to have boobs in the first 10 minutes or whatever, whatever. They have like a little formula. I get that thought process, but I don't think it necessarily makes good art all the time. And I don't think it's what we should be doing now.
No,
and so like often men will like talk to me about like making their movies and they're like, oh yeah, we got to have the shower scene and whatever. And I'm like, do you though? Because like every 80s movie has like a pointless, like why is everybody taking showers in the middle of their friends getting murdered? Like why is that a thing in every 80s? Now, I mean, I know why. Because they had to show boobs somehow.
Right. Like I kind of like when there's like when characters do shit where we don't need to see it, but it's not for like sexual reasons. Like I don't want to see somebody's boobs, but like sometimes you're watching a movie, like an action movie or something, like at some point these people have to pee or like shit or something. You know what I mean? Like, and like, I like that. I like that.
Mandy when he's just sitting on the toilet drinking vodka.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Well, that's how kind of how I feel about a lot of nudity. Is I feel like we need to see more nudity when it's not sexual. Like,
Yeah.
just walking around, like show somebody getting dressed for the morning, like, like let it be awkward angles because it's how it is. Like I think that would help America and society in general just kind of like demystify it. If we just had a lot, just
Also, just more male nudity too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Like we've seen enough boobs.
Yeah, we've seen every kind of boob you could see. Yeah.
I want.
Let's see what's under those shirts.
Yeah, I want naked fat men. I mean, I really. Why not? I mean, like, Trauma did that, but
because it's always for comedic effect, or often like in what's that Borat movie or whatever. Like people do that for comedic effect, but if it's not for comedic effect, that's maybe more interesting. I don't know. I think it would go a long way towards us all accepting our bodies.
Sure. Like, I'm not the person that would do this ever. I'm obviously but like I would not hate seeing like a sex scene that's trying to be sexy with two overweight people.
Yeah. Because it's so normal.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
You're right. Right. Like overweight people have sex. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't have to. It's all.
You don't have to make it, but like how like weirdly groundbreaking would that be if it were just like normal? It wasn't comedic. It was just like a normal relationship in a movie. Like it would be very groundbreaking.
Right, like John Goodman having
like
sex
in an Oscar movie. Yeah. In one of Angelina Jolie's prestige movies that you think she's made.
Look, I don't know where it came from. I said that. Now I feel bad. Okay. I'm remembering maybe like one or two movies, I guess. I don't know. But I think both people should be fat. I'm going to say that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I want to see both people fat, and I want to see them having a passionate sex, but also like they're fat enough where it's like they have to try. So it's not funny, but it's real.
Right. Okay.
This is an awkward conversation,
I think that would be like. I know I just said groundbreaking, but like I think like that's the kind of stuff we need to see. It's like seeing fucking sorority girls and like like in these sex scenes, like we always see 20-year-olds like ripped people. It's like it's not real life. I mean, I know I don't like movies to be real life, but also like I feel like it should represent more people, and we're talking about it a lot with diversity of like. Black people and people of color and stuff.
Absolutely.
But like, we're not really talking about a ton about body diversity and about like ageism and stuff like that, which I think all needs to have the same kind of revolution happen in film and representation. Because like, I think it does a lot for people and young people to see people that might look like them or look like their friends, Like also, I got way more body positive when I started going to burlesque shows because I saw people, my friends and stuff, where I'm like, oh, she's beautiful. She has flaws. It doesn't matter. I still think she's beautiful.
Right.
And like, I think like that helped change my perception of like what a magazine looks like versus what a real woman looks like.
Right. Right.
And I think it like made me a better person, and it made me more accepting and wanting more representation out there of bigger people or more normal people,
Right. And I feel like even like how Hollywood's starting to discover that like if they make a Black Panther, you can make $1 billion with a black made, black led movie. Like,
and
also,
white people will go watch it. And
white people go watch. Right, like everyone will watch it. Like, you can't tell me, and I'm not just talking about my personal preference, but Hollywood doesn't necessarily have my type usually on screen in a sexy scene. Mm-hmm. I kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, I have a certain type, and that's not what Hollywood usually, I'm like, I think there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there is underserved markets for people that would, like, I'd like to see, like, Adie Bryant. I think Adie Bryant is extremely attractive. SNL. She's SNL, and what's the show she's doing?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like...
Yeah. Shrill?
Shrill.
Is her show?
God,
it actually came from my brain. I didn't even get to Google it.
You didn't have to Google it. Or something like that. Like, there's no reason to me why she can't be, like, an actual romantic lead in a non-comedy. Like, I think that's underserved.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not there,
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what most women look like, in the U.S.
Yeah, right. That's Right.
Yeah.
Most women around me in my that are in my actual vision.
Not so much in West Hollywood, but in
Okay.
the rest of the
Yeah.
country.
I'm from Baltimore. Okay, we all look like gross people. But that's like the hot gross people, But yeah, like that's an underserved market, is treating that like they're actual sexy human beings.
Right, which shouldn't be like a revolutionary thought. But I think it's because like the industry has been like pushed by like a lot of white guys with ideas of like what needs to be in a movie, and like what people want to see, and they don't necessarily actually know. They just know what they wanted to see when they're 15.
Yeah, I guess, and also like you can argue like Jordan Peele did, like we've already done that. There's like millions of hours of movies where conventionally hot people do everything, and that's fine. I just think we have enough. Like when the same thing, like when he said the thing about he's not going to make movies starring white guys, I was like, you know what? If Hollywood was just like, we're not going to make any more action movies or superhero movies starring white dudes, I'd be like, honestly, I there's so many that I haven't even seen yet.
There's 50 years worth.
Right. Yeah. Like there's so much I can go the rest of my life and probably still watch a new one every week without new ones being made. So do something else. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
I say this like I'm going to do any of it. I'll probably make movies with fat guys. I have made a movie with fat naked guys. So like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That would be nice. As a fat person too, I say that. I wouldn't mind seeing a fat guy like beat people up.
Why not? That's like, I don't know. Why not? Like, so people are always like with the female superheroes, like, well, she couldn't do it. I'm like, but she probably could. And like, maybe trained for it. Maybe he's an expert in like whatever martial art, like there's ways to make it so it's still believable,
Well, I mean, every time they make
and it's also, if it's magic, like superheroes, like who cares,
I mean, it's totally toxic fandom at that point, though, right? Like they won't let them live or breathe for even a second. If you say anything, like what happened to Brie Larson, she said one thing once, and they're still digging at her to this day. They're still like, she's difficult. Nobody wants to work with her. Like, no one said that. No one said that. Whatever. I mean, you can't.
And then all that means is she might have set a boundary once.
I think she just said
mildly.
She was right. She's just. What is it? She just wanted to say she wanted more journalists that weren't men. She said it was like something like that. It was like a passive remark that turned her into the fucking devil, apparently. Yeah, and then then it came down on the movie, which still made $1 billion. So fuck them. But I saw it 4 times. So
which one? Which movie?
Captain Marvel.
King Kong.
Captain Marvel. Okay, she was in King Kong too, and she was in, what was the one that she?
I liked that King Kong movie.
Same. You know how I feel. I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. What was the one that she? The Room, not The Room.
Oh yeah, not The Room. I did not see Room. Yeah. That's Oscar bait, right? It's an Oscar bait movie.
It's still pretty good. I mean, she's good. I wouldn't. I'm not recommending it, but
yeah.
I get so happy whenever you say you like a big movie. I don't know why.
I had a Hollywood moment with that movie because we like spontaneously decided to just go to the Jimmy Kimmel show because it's just here and they're always giving out tickets.
Right.
And she happened to be the guest. And then she was like, I mean, obviously it's planned, but like they were like, all right, anybody that wants to walk across the street and go to the Dolby Chinese Theater and watch King Kong right now, like we'll walk you across the street. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll go see that for free.
Hell yeah. That's also really
and
just
then I
fun.
actually liked it. Yeah, it was like the premiere. It was fun. Yeah. And then I thought it was good. But I think I would have thought it was good even if I hadn't been personally escorted by Brie Larson.
Right. So she wait. I was gonna say she walked over with you. Okay.
No. No, somebody with a walkie-talkie walked us over, but it's still cool.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's like once in a while I watch the Jimmy Kimmel tickets because like I don't like him, but like sometimes he has guests I like. So we went and saw when he had Pee Wee on. We went. So like I try to like keep track of who his guests are sometimes because it's literally like down the street from us.
Was he on there for the new movie when he had the new movie?
No, it was after that. He was doing like a comedy tour, like a stand-up tour, like right before the pandemic happened.
I guess that got canceled.
He was doing like, yeah, maybe, yeah. I'm not sure exactly when that was, but yeah, it was like near. Maybe it did get canceled.
The only time I've ever thought about moving to California is listening to you and Mike talk about the cool things you do.
The theater stuff here is incredible. Yeah.
Like it's like I think now in my old age, if I ever thought about moving to California, it has nothing to do with filmmaking. It's more just like the cool shit's happening there. I could just go and do cool shit down the street. Like,
yeah. Well, that's why we moved. Like, well, because like we love the Egyptian theater, which is like currently closed still, and Netflix kind of has their hooks into it, and so who knows what it's going to be after this. But like, they always had awesome guests, awesome film festivals, and so like Michael was like, I want to live, because we previously lived like 3.5 miles, and we would walk sometimes. He's like, I want to live within a mile of the Egyptian theater, and that's like literally what we did when we were looking at places. We're like, wow, how far? And like we're like 0.2 miles, and it's been closed now. I mean, because of the pandemic, and now for a few more months.
It'll come back.
But yeah. There's so much. Just like, I think like LA is the city that most loves horror of any city, and it's like it's kind of
I'm
thing.
from
It's not
Baltimore, though.
I know, and Boston loves horror too.
Yeah,
but like, there's so many events here, and it's not what people think of generally for LA, because like we make all the dramas, you know. But like, the horror people here are obsessed with like Halloween, spooky shit all year round.
I mean, I got a taste of it because you guys let me be on your trivia team for a year.
Yeah,
and I saw firsthand. Yeah,
be in person now. Yeah, like, and it's like people that like are, you know, have written on whatever or produced whatever. Like, they know so much shit, like minute details, and like I proved tonight, my brain is mush. Like,
no, like, you say that, but you don't come off like that. You know a lot of stuff.
Hand in hand with the Google. Like, I know how to search to get the information that I want to tell you, but like sometimes my brain is just not there with it.
Yeah.
But these people are just like, and they know everything about horror. It's crazy. It's really fun to be around.
No, it's cool because they're like not just cinephiles. They're like something else, something above that.
Yeah, it gets to a different level.
They're the people that can tell you the poster in the room in the scene. That's the person that they are.
In the movie opera. What posters were hanging in the theater? That kills me.
I can't even do that with a lot of stuff I love and I've seen a million times. No. I just can't.
Yeah. I'm not a movie rewatcher. I generally once in a while I'll rewatch a movie, or if it's been so long I've forgotten it, mostly I'll rewatch it maybe, but I'm all about new content.
I feel like I gave you shit for it once and I felt bad for it.
I don't like, it's such like a not a horror person thing to be like, I don't like to rewatch movies.
Yeah.
But it's more because there's just so much more out there to watch. Like, I'm never going to be able to see every movie, and there's like hundreds more every year. So I just want to always be watching something new. But once in a while I'll rewatch something. But usually, like, if I remember it well, the less I want to watch it.
Hence, also like why you want to be a vampire, right? Because that way you can just watch everything.
Dude, fucking, I love that Jim Jarmusch movie, The Vampire Lovers.
Yeah. What, or is it...
I love Jim Jarmusch anyway.
Right.
It's called not The Vampire Lovers. Oh my god.
Only Lovers
It's
Left
called
Alive?
Something. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
The
Vampire Lovers is a 1971
okay, your brain is
movie
mush.
that I also love. With Ingrid Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is mush. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that whole movie is like Tilda Swinton and Loki. It's Loki, right? Is it Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah. It's Tom Hiddleston. Yeah.
Just like hanging out.
No,
listening to records.
When I saw that movie, I was mad when I saw that movie because it was like I had that idea, like for a story for so long where I was like, I would literally be the worst vampire because I would only eat this minimal amount of blood, and I just want to be able to do cool shit forever. So I would just hang out and watch movies at night.
And go to rock shows.
Go to shows and do anything
I was also angry when I saw that movie because it's the same thing. It's like it's so perfect of a movie, but it's also so attainable of like something an indie filmmaker could make and that'd be good. I mean, we're never gonna get Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston, but like it just felt like I should have made this fucking movie, and Jim Jarmusch got there first.
Right.
And it's so perfect.
It
pains you with how much you love it.
I feel like I've seen so much hate toward that movie too. Like, I don't get it, but I guess people were expecting something else because it's a vampire movie. But yeah,
okay, people fucking need to broaden their horizons with vampire movies, because like I love a movie setting up its own lore. I think that's the cool part of
Yeah.
vampire movies is like I think it's like the dealing with the immortality is always the most interesting thing to me. And then setting up fresh vampire lore is always exciting. So like that movie like Daybreak, where like they go in the subway and order a cup of blood instead of a cup of coffee. Like I love that scene, you know. It's like
You mean wait,
only
you mean
lovers left alive.
is it Daybreak or
Isn't it
Daybreakers?
Daybreakers?
Daybreakers.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Daybreak is something else. Yeah,
I was making sure you weren't talking about a separate movie, but I love
that's
that movie.
like Daybreak is like a surfing movie.
Yeah. I was for a second. I was like, they didn't do that in the Daybreak, did they? Right. But no, the Spearing brothers. I think they've made a couple flops, but that movie,
the Australians, right?
Yeah, they made Undead was their first. They broke out with Undead, which was their like indie movie, and then Daybreakers was kind of their like ode to John Carpenter thing, which I really love that movie. Yeah, it's a really solid movie. Here. Okay, this is a good climax, I think, for where
I liked Predestination. Okay, I don't.
Yeah,
think
that was
it
okay.
Was a movie, but it was okay.
The Winchester one was not good. Was that?
I didn't see any other ones. It's them. Yeah.
It was the one about the mansion, the Winchester mansion.
Oh yeah,
great.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, great concept, great cast. Yeah. It just
should have been good.
I saw it and I was like, no.
Oh, it's based on that mansion. Yeah, in San Jose.
Which is a cool concept.
Yeah. I've been to that house. Yeah,
very cool concept. Cool. But it just, the movie didn't, as the third act, it was just, Jesus. I was going to say, like, I feel like we've been working up to this for me asking you this. Vampire movies that you do love, since you hate Near Dark so much. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding.
No vampire movie is gonna be worse. Like, okay, let's start with the bottom. And it's John Carpenter's A Vampire.
You mean Vampires?
I fucking hated that movie. Yes. Yeah, but with a Y, right? Like
does it have a Y
in
in it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's spelled with a Y. Man, fucking James Woods.
James Woods is a prick. Look, I'll be honest. I used to like that movie a lot. I don't anymore.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not.
I like the score to that movie a lot. I think the score is one of Carpenter's better scores, actually. But that doesn't.
I mean, I love John Carpenter's scores in general.
I think you and Michael agree that something happened to John Carpenter in the 90s.
Like in the late 90s?
Yeah, he gave up and.
Because he made so many perfect movies. But I think maybe like Vampires is like the beginning of the end there then.
It sucks because there's some really cool concepts in that movie. It's his, like you said, his rampant misogyny. He's a complete, and it's also like James Woods is real life James Woods now is unbearable.
So, right. And like,
it sucks.
It comes through in the movie too, how shitty he is. Yeah. I couldn't stand
the concept in a different script, the concept of the Catholic Church having like a renegade outfit of vampire hunters that are all like these like, grungy cowboy type of biker dudes like that kill vampires on the side. I was like, that's cool. Like, I'd watch that, but it doesn't hold up. I'm not going to sit here and defend vampires.
Okay, so like there's the films that like kind of inspired Blood the Tribbids, which is like The Vampire Lovers, Daughters of Darkness, like those early Hammer, not early because it was the 70s, but like Hammer horror 70s movies. And then there was like the Jean Roland movies of like, my favorite of Jean Roland is Lips of Blood. And the reason it's my favorite is like this guy has like this repressed childhood memory of this vampire woman, but the end shot, this is gonna be a spoiler, but it's like
I haven't seen it,
if you know Jean Roland movies, it's like literally nothing happens and it's just really pretty the whole time. But like the end shot is like naked. He gets into a coffin with the vampire lady and they just float out to sea. And it's like my favorite shot in a movie. I love it. There's an Australian movie called Thirst.
Which
Thirst is really awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
that I would like to remake Thirst. I love that they have like the metal fangs in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's all about like culture war, like rich people just doing what they want to like people that nobody's going to miss. And it's like an interesting movie that I think could be cool in a remake, maybe. Probably somebody already did it. There's another movie called Thirst that's not this one. That's more recent.
Yeah, you're right.
But it has nothing to do with it, I think.
Was it a Japanese movie? I feel like there's a Japanese movie called Thirst.
There was a Japanese one, and then I think there was maybe even another one. But anyway, Brian May did the music. That's cool. But yeah, that was like a late 70s Australian movie. Yeah, what else do I like? I mean, yeah, Only Lovers Left Alive for like a recent movie.
What about any like populist ones, like or
Oh,
more
like Dracula.
or that, or like
I love like the old like Blood and Roses is a great one. It's
right,
that's like 68 or something.
right.
And like all the Christopher Lee movies and all that stuff is so fun. But yeah, like Anne Rice, like Interview with the Vampire.
I like Interview with a
What are you
Vampire.
talking about?
It's
I
fine.
liked it in the 90s. I have no idea if I would think it was good now.
I still enjoy
Oh,
it.
I defend Twilight because like Twilight is
There it
not
is. We did
great.
it.
You
Just
got
getting
me
you
there
to say
because
that. That's great.
I do defend it because I think Kristen Stewart, it's her name, right?
Yeah,
And
no, you're
Robert
right.
Pattinson
Yeah.
got a lot of shit for those movies because of who they were made for. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it was like for teen girls and that was the content, it just like media and men can't deal with shit for teen girls. They just hate it. Like it intrinsically makes them rage. And I don't think those movies are that bad. Like I have issues with like the relationship is like semi-abusive or whatever, but those movies are fine. You know, and like a glittery people are so mad about a glittery vampire, like as if like people don't constantly recreate mythology in vampire movies. Like again, like what I was saying, like that's the stuff I think is cool. Like
Right, right.
why not? Like let them wear fucking sunblock and be glittery. Like I'm fine with that, you know? Because like that's the fun part, you know?
Also, like I would
That's okay.
I would easily sit here and say like I think both of them are really great actors. Maybe not in Twilight specifically. Do I think
That's
that?
the thing. Yeah. I
But
think since then they've shown that they are good actors.
yeah, like
In those movies, I don't know what they were allowed to do.
Especially Pattinson. Like he's really awesome. Man, I remember I saw a press screening of Good Time, and I was not prepared. You should. I mean, I'll actually recommend that to you just for his performance because I was not prepared. Halfway through the movie, I didn't even realize it was him, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's the Twilight guy!" And then the whole movie won me over with him. But yeah,
Well, they're funny because they both had to go to like indie movies to get any cred
right
back after Twilight, after like
Twilight,
making billions in Twilight. My other beef with Twilight is Catherine Hardwicke directed the first one and wasn't ever asked back to do a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, hello, like made $1 billion. Like, I don't even know if she's had a movie since.
They gave it to David Slade, right? I think, or something like that.
Yeah, they gave it to a series of dudes. Yeah, it's such bullshit.
Yeah, I was
she went into TV.
I was made to begrudgingly watch those by a ex,
Mhm.
and I didn't, and I ended up disliking stuff about the plot, but not.
Yeah.
Nothing bothered me about like them, the characters, or like the sparkly romantic side. I was just like, for me, I was just watching it like, how come they're all splitting up to protect her? Remember like the plot of the first one, they all split up to like protect her, and I was like, this makes no sense. What the hell they're doing? It had nothing to do with like how effeminate it was or something like that. I was like fine with that,
right.
you know.
It just like didn't make sense.
It's just I was just like, the plot didn't make sense to me.
By like the sixth movie or however many there are, 'cause I watched them all during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It just like turns into like a CW show where they like go and gather like all the vampires to have like this like showdown with like the werewolves. It's just like it got very stupid and ridiculous. But like I not because by that point I was like invested in the characters.
Like a comic book at that point. It's
exactly. Or like a TV.
And also it had some horror elements too that were like was it the abortion thing? Was it that? I only seen these once a long time ago.
I forget. Yeah.
Remember the thing with the baby? I just remember watching that. I was like, man, tween
the baby grew really fast. Like, I don't know.
I remember like the bloody like birth abortion thing.
Yeah,
and like
they thought she was gonna die and stuff. Yeah.
And I just remember like thinking, tween girls are paying to see this scene in a theater. It's pretty funny to me, you know.
Yeah.
Like and it was made by like you said, horror filmmaker dudes, but still horror filmmakers.
Yeah.
So it had elements where I was like, this is not stuff that normally tween girls are given in a movie. So it's
probably no.
Yeah,
exactly,
it's like kind of. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like
if that's their entry into horror movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Then cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying I like them, but I don't. I'm not gonna revisit.
I defend them. That's how I feel about it.
What about?
I don't think they're as bad as the press. You know.
Right. Do you like
about how men feel about them?
Like Lost Boys and stuff? Like any feelings on that? Or is it
I like Lost Boys. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I did like it in the 90s when I saw it.
What about 30 Days a Night? Right.
You know, I watched that not too long ago during the pandemic, and like it's okay.
It's okay.
It didn't have much. I mean, not that I need a point.
It didn't. No, obviously, yeah.
But it's just like, you know, the vampires themselves just weren't interesting to me. I guess
I like the main dude, the main vampire guy who looks like a businessman who just turned, you know. Right. Yeah. But I think that's a case where, to bring us full circle, nothing against what's his name, Josh Hartnett. But if Josh Hartnett was more of a Kurt Russell now, like a 60-year-old Kurt Russell, I think that movie.
I see what you're saying. It would have worked better.
It doesn't need to be Kurt Russell, but something in that like ballpark, a grizzled man or woman. That's I think an older vibe. Instead of him, it would have been.
That's the Fury Road sequel I want, is the fucking old lady biker gang. Because literally in Fury Road, when they got to that old lady biker gang, I started to get up out of my seat. I was so excited. It was just the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, whatever they're talking about, like prequels or sequels, I'm like, just fucking do the old ladies, please. Like old ladies with shotguns on fucking motorcycles.
Hell
like
yes.
Nothing gets me more excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. If it was an old lady up there defending the town, like, yeah,
totally.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I mean, even like I don't know, Sigourney Weaver or some shit. I don't know.
Sure.
But, like just anybody. Like Josh Hartnett's fine. He has shown me in other roles.
It's the safe choice.
He's a safe choice. At the time, he was kind of the hot young choice, and I was just like, if this was just this, you're already playing off the thing. Give me grizzled. I don't care if it could be a woman, but it's just that is a casting problem. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, like the new Terminator too. It's like I love seeing the older Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
But like it just like the movie like wasn't written that well for her character. Like it should have just been about her, you know.
I sort of enjoyed it. I wasn't crazy about it.
It had its moments. Yeah, it definitely had its moments of like being okay. But she was the best part. Like just show me her wrinkles, show me with the guns. Like I just want to watch that for 90 minutes.
It should have been her movie.
Yeah.
It should have been completely her movie, and it is, I'd say, outside of T2, obviously, it's the best Terminator sequel.
There's a couple in there I haven't seen. Yeah. I think the last one I saw was like the lady Terminator thing,
3.
Like in the early 2000s.
That's 3.
Yeah, but there's one prequel after that, I think, that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that's Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Then it's the one that McG made. Was the one that's the prequel, and then there's the Terminator Genesis, and then it's a mess. It's been retconned like 3 times.
I think there's 2 I haven't seen in there: the prequel, and I saw Genesis. Yeah.
It should. It's like they woke Linda Hamilton up out of a coma of acting. They're like, "Hey, come on back," and then they didn't give her the entire movie. And it's like
anything to do.
This thing should have been 100% Linda Hamilton. We're dealing with all these other people.
With all her shotguns. It's there.
Honestly,
that's all you need.
It should have been her and Arnie, and that's it. I don't want to see kids or anything. It's just her and Arnie would have been fine.
Yeah, and that girl is fine.
She's fine. Like, she's fine.
I don't need her.
Yeah. But I remember, I was going to say the one thing when we were talking, I told you about some guy was shitting on fucking Fury Road. We're not going to talk about any specific, but I was I didn't know, actually. I'm always scared sometimes when I mention to you guys a movie. I'm like, they're going to hate it. It warmed my heart how much you loved Fury Road. I was just going to say that. I just wanted to.
No, I love it. I think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
But like, I already loved like the first Mad Max, take or leave, but like Thunderdome and Road Warrior like were already movies I loved. And then like when they were doing Fury Road, I was like, oh, I'll go see it. And then it was a fucking masterpiece. So good.
Road Warrior is one of those movies where when I hear a kid say it's boring or old, it gets me. I actually get angry. Like I don't know why. It's like that movie specifically makes me angry when somebody's like, "It sucks, man. It's boring and all looks fake." And I was like, "Oh my god." I don't know why it's that. I was gonna say, so we've been talking a lot about stuff that you made. Where should I point people to? Where can plug some stuff? I know you don't want to, but you got your YouTube channel has like Blood of the Tribbids on it.
I guess. Oh yeah, I was like, I guess it has stuff. Yeah, Blood of the Tribbids is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's pretty much the only place to see that. Like, I think like Clickbait and Magnetic are on Tubi.
I love that you're not sure.
dude, we don't get paid for any of
I
this.
know. It's sad. It's the sad truth. I know. It's just fucking funny, man. It's just like, where are your movies?
I think is 10 might be on Prime. I'm not sure.
You have to Google it. That's so good.
I'm literally just going to the website. Yeah.
Do you guys have a website?
I mean, certainly you can no, maybe it's not on Prime.
Launchover doesn't have like a website. I forget.
Michael's screaming from across the apartment. It's on Plex and YouTube. Okay, yeah, so maybe 10 and Tubi. No,
Okay.
we're talking about 10. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so like if you go to our website, I do have all the places you can see the
All
stuff
right.
linked from our website. I do keep that up mostly. I started to say I keep it updated, but like I update it like once a year. But yeah, so like our website is launchover.com.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can follow the links from there. And then also it has only some of our short content, I think.
I'll link your YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
Because that has
Yeah.
like everything you've ever done on one channel.
It is weird. But you know, it's missing a lot of the shorts that are on like anthologies and stuff. So like, yeah, you could go down a real hole of trying to find everything. You know? But yeah, so launchover.com is a good place to start, I think.
One of the nightmares of doing like because I'm the one who ruined your podcast for like 8 months.
Yeah, we just stopped.
You just
but also,
stopped.
okay, the other place to look at for stuff that's like current, like podcasts and shit we're on is just mikeandsophia.com. It's our blog.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like I'll blog this podcast that I was on this.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
like
Thank
blogs
you.
used to be a thing.
I didn't know you had
day.
an active one.
I mean, active, like literally it's just like this came out. We were on this podcast. So, I mean, but it's just like at the end of the year when I write like my, like, what did I do in 2020 or whatever? Like I actually just go back and I look at what I blogged and I'm like, oh yeah, I did 5 things. That's cool. So that's a good place. And launchover.com is a good place. And then like our social medias.
Okay. I'll link some.
But you started asking something else.
Oh, no. Was I? I don't remember. My brain is mush.
I
too.
cut you off to mention a blog. Because it's like the year 2000 and we have a blog.
You have a Zanga there, Sophia?
Just subscribe to the RSS.
A live journal? Do you have a live journal? No, I was going to say you're also like, I know that nobody can donate, but you're also doing Fat Fleshy Fingers with Sick and Wrong. And I know nobody can donate, but you can always send money to Steven Stahl if you want.
Just send it directly to me.
Send it directly to Sophia. She'll take all your money that you want to donate to that movie. Still, that you didn't get a chance to.
That'll be funny. So I made a big deal. I mean, because, okay, so for me, like, for this film, so let's back it up. Fat Fleshy Fingers. It's an anthology film being made by Steven Stahl of Sick and Wrong Film Festival.
Former guest of this show.
Yeah, you can go back and listen to his episode where he begs for money, probably. But so it's an anthology film, but we all have this parasitic worm that's like a foot tall to put in our movies. And so like I really, really pushed because like for me, I want to do something. If I'm going to make something, because I make so few things for me, like, because I work for other people a lot, or like I'm stuck working on this feature for 2 years, you know, like I don't do a lot of short content for me. I was like, I want to shoot something in space. Like it's got to be space themed in some way. But then, and so like I made a big deal during the Kickstarter, like we're going to space or doing it. Because like, even if I have to spend some of my own money on it, I just want to make something that like I haven't done before and I'm excited about, you know, so I'm just taking this worm and I'm running with it to do something that excites me personally. But then I was on this website for filming locations, and one of these escape rooms in LA has like their Egyptian tomb set up. And I'm like, now I need to find this worm in this Egyptian tomb because that's pretty fucking sweet.
That's pretty
and
cool,
like,
yeah.
And I was looking at this and I feel bad because it's like a rug pull, like it's a switcheroo. I don't think anybody that donated is going to give a shit. But I'm like, I was all space. And now I'm like, let's do Egyptian tomb. But
you could do an end reveal where it's all happening in space, you know, like it's on an Egyptian tomb.
It's on another fucking, it's Stargate, and it's on another planet. Yes.
Yeah.
Genius.
Right.
Spader.
Are you a Stargate fan? This is great. I love that.
I do like Stargate.
Hell yes.
I did like
all
Stargate.
right.
Oh, you know what? think is a great movie in that vein is Event Horizon.
I
think Event Horizon blends horror and sci-fi more perfectly than any other movie.
Have I told you that how I started the 2020? I was literally by myself in my friend's house. They went to another party that I refused to go to because there was people I hate there. And I stayed in their house alone and watched Event Horizon as 2020 turned over.
It's your fault.
It's like it was the worst decision I ever made because I was like, I literally transported myself to hell. I'm a huge fan of that movie, though. I really do love that movie, and I'm happy to hear you do too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was it? Oh yeah, Fat Fleshy Fingers. So now, back to that for a second.
Yeah.
Too. I guess I did finish that thought. Just mostly that, like, I'm going to the Stargate planet.
Okay, I'm excited.
Oh no, my other thought was because, like, all right, in LA there's all these standing sets that you can rent.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that look good for the space sets are like $1,000 an hour, and so like I can't afford those. And the ones, there's some like shitty ones in like the Valley that are much cheaper, but they look like kind of like shitty, you know. And this tomb looks fucking sweet because it's an escape room and they spent like some money on it. So that's part of my decision making. I'm like, I can have the shitty space set or a pretty cool looking tomb.
When you say so, when you're talking about it's going to happen in space, you meant like it's going to happen on a spaceship set.
Yeah.
That you'd rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That was my whole goal.
It's not like the worm is floating in space.
No.
Okay. No. Yeah. Okay.
My whole goal was like just kind of like Alien or something. Like they like either beam aboard or somehow are doing research on the worm, and then it gets out and infects them all. Kind of. Yeah. Was what I was thinking of doing.
For anyone listening, like the campaign was only for 15,000, so $1,000 an hour is not going to work out for your segment, probably.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do green screen,
is much
but it would
better price. Yeah, I mean, I've made like spacey stuff just by putting up like party paper, like aluminum foil everywhere, or like going like the Barbarella route and just doing faux fur everywhere. Like it's an option, and like lava lamps, like you could do a 60s thing. Like there's a way to do it in our apartment if I wanted to, but really just wanted to go to a pre-made set.
Well, if you need any help doing shitty space effects that Mike doesn't want to do, let me know.
we might.
But Egyptian stuff, I got no idea where that would be. Sand, I guess. Says particle effects. Yeah. I don't know, like the Mummy or something like that. Like like sandstorms and stuff.
Well, then when Steven was like, "Well, who's having sex?" I'm like, "The mummies." Suddenly, I was like, "That is like actually a really funny image to me." Is like just people wrapped in like the ace bandages, like grinding on each other is like so hilarious.
Can you have like a character in it that's a leather daddy, and then have him have sex with a mummy, so it's mummy and daddy having sex?
Oh, gross.
I'm sorry.
Michael will listen to this later and be like, yes. Because he's only heard my side, so he has to hear your side.
Oh, he has to hear what I said. He'll say, I don't know if he's going to like my ideas there.
No, he might.
He might?
Yeah, he might.
I don't know. I feel like I make him laugh every now and then, but I don't know if he likes the ideas.
Okay, he doesn't think I'm funny, but I make him laugh like probably either once a day or once every other day, and I'm always like, yeah, see? I am funny.
You're definitely funny, so he's wrong.
No, he doesn't think so.
He's wrong. But I also find it funny that when I was making him laugh, you were getting actively annoyed.
Yeah. He has an annoying laugh.
So he's hearing you say that right now.
He is. He's hearing this side. No, when he really gets going, which is very rare for him to like really like hyperventilate laugh, it's kind of annoying. But it's cute. It's funny. Yeah.
You're definitely Sophia. You're definitely funny.
Thank you.
I just want to say that. Yeah. Don't listen to anybody, especially don't listen to some man tell you you're not funny. Come on, Michael.
He's been holding me down for too long.
I know. What is he? He's so unprogressive, man. What the hell is he doing over there? Jesus. All right, so I think I have everything that you've plugged. That's everything you want to plug, right?
Okay, yeah, it's like my impossible to pronounce name. I'm everywhere.
Cacciola. It's not hard, right?
Okay, good. Well, you're Italian, yeah.
Cacciola. Yeah.
There you go.
My real last name is Rita Rossi. If you didn't know, they cut off.
The real pronunciation of my name is Cacciola.
Oh,
And I
it
think
is?
at like Ellis Island, they thought that was too hard.
So
So
it's
they started
Cacciola?
pronouncing it Cacciola.
Cacciola.
But like, so half of the Cacciolas in the world like say Cacciola.
How many people call you
But
like Cacciola or something
yeah.
like that?
In
Yeah.
like elementary school, people just call me Sophia Coca-Cola. That was like good enough.
Well, now that's what I'm calling you now from now on, Sophia
Wish I
Coca-Cola.
had some Coca-Cola money. Yeah. Yeah.
Sophie
So me,
Coca-Cola.
I'm around. I'm around. Launchover's around. Michael's around. Usually we work together on shit. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, I think that's good. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for
Hey, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I feel like I said to Michael too, and even Steven, we talk so often online. I feel like our actual.
Well, I open our chat sometimes. It's been like 144 messages since you last opened it. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like scrolling.
And most of it's not interesting to reread. It's not like it's not good literature. So just us bullshitting. Yeah, but I enjoy actually using our voices to have actual conversations, which we live 3,000 miles away. So it's not going to happen often.
Yes.
Although I want to visit California. I've never been. So,
really?
Yeah, I've never been to California.
I had never been to California until like, I don't know, 2012 or something. I came for like a vacation because Michael's sister is living here. And then I was like, oh, it's not shitty like everybody in New York and Boston would have me believe. Because like that trip we did like San Diego, LA, and San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I thought like having hippie parents, I don't actually like hippie shit, but I had hippie parents. And I was like, oh, I love San Francisco, all that hippie history.
Yeah.
It's just like I hated it. Like San Diego's pretty, but like it's so military and nothing's there other than SEALs. And then we got to LA and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I came out here for work for a week and I loved it. And then I was like, fuck this. But Boston especially has like a never LA, like don't go vibe. Like they're really anti LA. And then it's like, and so it builds it up in your head like that you also must hate it. So it's like, but it's like angry East Coast, like how dare they be warm and happy?
Yeah, right. I mean, look, I'm from Baltimore, so there's a never DC and a never New York.
Oh yeah.
It's like because Baltimore has the chip on its shoulder that we're not New York. Like there's that
Boston
whole thing.
has that chip on its shoulder too, but I think we move back and forth so much that like we can't say never New York,
Right.
But it definitely does have a chip on its shoulder about it.
Yeah. I mean, Baltimore's just generally being miserable, like that's kind of the tone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the vibe of Boston too.
Yeah.
It's like, you're just cold and angry all the time.
You're dirty.
Which I like.
Everything smells like piss and like I like that too.
When you come out to LA with that vibe, you get shit done. People are used to it.
Yeah, the only reason I would think I wouldn't like LA is everyone looks really hot and thin there from what I see on television. I'm like, oh no.
I mean, like it's neighborhoody by that. Like if you go to Beverly Hills, you go to West Hollywood, like yes, you'll see that. You'll see plenty of that. Yeah. But if you go to like anywhere like where real people live, it's the same as the rest of America,
Just gross, fat, ignorant people, right? Like me,
Why not? Well, yeah, especially if you, no, not like you, but like they're like every state that has rural areas that we have our Republicans.
Yeah.
Because like I'm from Western New York and it's like horrible, the politics up there. So
we have Western Maryland. It's bad. Yeah.
It's like anytime people aren't around people, they're terrible.
That's why I like we can look at a vaccination rate calendar right now and you can see where it is.
Yeah.
You don't even need to
by county.
We can actually just see where the bad counties are now. It's just perfectly mapped out.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But point is, come to LA. We'll take you to all the horror shit.
Oh yeah, can I sleep on your floor or something? Can I sleep in Blanche?
Why not?
Next to Blanche. We don't have to, but we didn't even mention Blanche.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't even know how however many hours this has gone by where I didn't mention Blanche.
2.5 hours.
My whole life. That's the longest I've gone without talking about Blanche. Maybe
that's awesome. Ever. I mean, not that Blanche isn't. Blanche is amazing. I love how much I love Blanche.
That only talks about her kids. I only talk about Blanche.
I feel bad.
Blanche, here she comes. Here she comes.
There she is. This is all for the video people.
Say hi.
There she is.
Oh,
hi, Blanche.
Oh yes, there she is. Oh, she missed me.
Blanche
so
has a TikTok. Blanche is a dog. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, follow that. That's the thing you should plug. Is the Blanche?
This is the content.
Blanche needs she should have like 500,000 followers. It's angering me that more people don't follow Blanche.
Right in my mouth. Right in my mouth with that. Blanche.
Does her breath smell good?
No.
Little dogs, man, they never have good.
Any dogs? Little dogs have bad teeth, and she definitely has some cavities. But
she's so adorable. She made an appearance on Mike's episode too. But she actually ended Mike's episode because she had to pee.
I think that's why she ran in, because he just like came back with her, I think. So
well, we did. I was just going to say, it's funny that neither of us mentioned her. We talked about the actual Blanche from Golden Girls and not not the Blanche from your house.
Not the Blanche I live with.
Yeah, the cutie. Look at her.
Crazy genius.
Yeah. So you're definitely responsible for my newfound chi love.
You've got to get Andre the Giant.
I can't afford. I already have 2 animals here, and I can't afford. Yeah. I wouldn't responsibly take care of him.
Half terrier.
Yeah, he has that hair. I really like her hair. I like her hair. That short. She
almost was about to sneeze. She's super thick fur, like not wiry like a lot of Chihuahuas, because she's like Pomeranian and Shih Tzu and Poodle. Like, she's got all this other stuff in her. Yeah. So her she's short hair, but she sheds a ton and is really thick. But she's soft like a bunny, so who can complain? Yeah.
Well, maybe one day.
You can sleep on Blanche's floor.
Sweet, that sounds great.
Amongst all of my gear. Our other room is just like where I store gear. So when people stay, it's like, well, I'll just shove these tripods and lights in the corner. Right. And you can have this half of the room with like a blow-up mattress. Have fun.
But man, yeah, she's so cute. I enjoy Blanche a lot.
No, cheese are the best. I'm on like a mission, because cheese are the second most euthanized breed in shelters, because people don't realize that they need like a ton of attention, and they're not just like. They're not cats, you can't just leave them alone. They're Velcro dogs.
But like I was reading that that post for little Andre the Giant, and it was like it was like every chi post you ever see, it pretty much re-explains what chi ownership's about, which is like they have attitudes and they need attention, and they can be mean and they can be grumpy. Like it's like it's
but that's what I love about them, because it's just like me. Like you just described me. Like needs attention, is mean, is grumpy, will bite you. Like
right.
But also like okay, sometimes
there's a kinship there.
There is, Then like they're all like crazy geniuses, and I think it's like. I described it to Michael. It's like they're using 100% of their brains, but their brains are the sizes of walnuts. So like they're insane geniuses, but like about crazy stuff, And they're
geniuses for
Chihuahuas are great.
They're geniuses for cheese. They're chi-nesses. Sorry, that's terrible. But follow Blanche as a dog if anyone's listening to this, because on TikTok and Instagram.
And Facebook too.
And Facebook,
if you're old.
Right. And watch Bloodhound for another chi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you made a movie. R.I.P. The Great King Ghidorah.
R.I.P. Yeah, Bloodhound is on Arrow right now. The Arrow streaming service. Yeah, I probably should have plugged that. So that's pretty cool.
There's so many links at this point.
Bloodhound, my 3-minute movie about my dearly departed Chihuahua got like the most distribution of any film I've ever done.
I mean, look, you're the movie we all made together. He's in that too. So
he is. The I think you're allowed to say that the transformations of the Doctors Jenkins.
Yeah, we say it on Michael's episode, and
it's on IMDb. It's
on IMDb. It'll be. I keep talking about it, but it'll be available in.
Well, it'll be a festival soon.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But
coming to festivals soon.
Yeah. If we have anything to do about it. Okay. I don't want to keep you any longer. It's been 2.5 hours.
I have a dough rising, so I'm making pizza.
Oh. Vegan
I just pulled
pizza,
it.
right?
By the way, I just pulled a Steven Stull on you, because every time I talk to Steven, he always hangs up because he's like, Jen got me a really good sandwich, or Jen picked up a pizza. Whatever. And it always makes me like, even if I just ate, I'm always like angry. I'm like, what? Where's mine? And he's like in fucking Florida.
I think Jen legitimately got mad at me for his episode because we talked for 3.5 hours, and
And she was like waiting to like deliver a burrito or something.
She was just waiting to hang out with him, like to have their time on the day, and I just used it all up. But what are you gonna do? I mean, we're doing a podcast. This is art. Is this not art? This is true art. This is a documentary about Sophia Coca-Cola, and this counts. This is going on IMDb as
it's my day. It's July 6th, 2021, in the life of Sophia Cacciola. She's got a dog. She's making a vegan pizza. She's talking to Bob.
Prove to me it's not a documentary. You can't.
You can't. I'm sure if there's like a list of what a documentary is, I'm sure this counts.
We could submit it to festivals.
That would be amazing.
It would get in at least one.
Wouldn't it be funny? Like you're in like one of those convention festivals where like everything's just like in a hotel room, like on a screen, and then there's like two people like watching this like stream of us talking.
Remember, I sent you guys that one.
I'll
movie?
Make a documentary about that.
I think I sent you one movie that a YouTube filmmaker made, and he called it a movie, and I was like, it's him just filming himself talking for 2 hours. I was like, when is it's a podcast? They're just movies now. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if there's video, then it's a film.
Yeah, this is a camera. This is a camera, right? It's a technology. We're capturing image. Yeah. It's lit. There's sound. All right, I'll let you go. Seriously, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is gonna go up a week from now. So
okay. The future.
Yeah. Seriously, thank you. It was really good talking to you because we've never had this chance. So, yeah.
Without the rest of them, yeah.
Without Michael fucking it all up.
I know. I gave you the option. I was like, I can come on with Michael, or we can be separate.
No, I wanted it separate because I was like,
this experience.
I didn't want him to just hog it all up. No, I'm kidding. I want to be clear. Whenever I make these jokes, I love Michael. I really do, and I think I make all these jokes because he has that whole like self-depreciative joke about him. But I'm only going along with it. I actually really love Michael.
I mean, I make all those jokes too.
I know. But you're also you're his partner, so like you can do that. I feel like I'm doing it to go along with his own joke.
It's fine. I think he thinks it's funny.
Okay, I just want
to. He will, if he ever listens to this.
He's not listening to this. I've sent him so many podcasts. He's like, yeah, I'll put it on my list. Yeah, whatever.
I'm just kidding. I'm
just totally kidding. It's fine.
Find the time to like personally listen to podcasts.
Most
like Michael has to put it on, like, and then I'll overhear it.
Yeah.
He's listening to something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I
don't have the time. I just sit with Blanche all day, but I'm doing shit. Because it's like I can't listen to something and do anything else.
Right. To be perfectly
like when we
honest,
drive cross country, I listen.
Right. I was gonna say, to be perfectly honest, like right now I'm like in a chill out mode in life, so me reconcentrating on my podcast is just because it's easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got all these film projects going. I'm really just kind of working and doing this right now. Maybe I'm writing some, but this is kind of what I'm doing creatively. Which
that's
is fine. Yeah, that's whatever. I don't know.
We restarted our podcast, but like I don't know when we're doing it again. We're on no schedule.
I'm trying to get on. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get on a schedule here to like have like some kind of consistency again because the pandemic destroyed it. So
oh for sure. Yeah.
All right, we'll stop talking.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Well, talk to you online, I guess.
Yeah. Good night.
We ever stop,
hug Blanche again for me and tell Michael that I love him.
I will.
Thank you. All right. See you, Sophia. Bye.